Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Miller. Every week, I chat with fascinating people from all walks of life in order to bring you knowledge, inspiration, and insight. If you enjoy the show, you can support it by subscribing, leaving a review, and sharing it with a friend. This is the Jeremy Miller Podcast. I've seen this one a lot. I think I get ads for this one a lot.
Really?
Screaming Freedom.
Cheers.
Oh, that's good.
We're going into HEB, so it's
That's
like
dope.
if I could plug anything and be like, "Hey, go buy this at HEB," you know?
I mean, I have a huge audience in Texas. A lot of people live in Texas that listen to this. So,
Where is majority of your audience?
Probably Texas. I think Instagram and YouTube. Well, actually, YouTube, I don't know. Instagram for sure does a good job of like, you know, when you like add a location onto a post, feeding that post more to people who live in that area.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think just because of that, like I tag almost all my posts in Austin.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's why. But yeah, dude, these are good.
Biggest thing I would say is like the caffeine is green tea, so it's just very natural and clean, easy for your body to metabolize. Outside that, well-balanced electrolytes. We have B vitamins and then a nootropic blend that comes from a coffee bean fruit.
Dude, this has more electrolytes than most electrolyte drinks.
Yeah, so it's like
150 milligrams of sodium. Dude, that's the worst. Is electrolyte drinks? I mean, that's why we made Switchback. Was like, it's like electrolytes and has like 50 milligrams of sodium. I'm like, that's not. What are you
nothing.
talking about?
Yeah, and see, that's what I was saying. Like with our hydration sticks, they're more of like just a daily use of a electrolyte. Where like, I don't think it's good for like pre-running. Like it's 250 milligrams of sodium.
Right.
You sweat that out
That's
so
decent.
fast. I'm super curious to like pick your brain a little bit more on like the sodium intake of like how much, because I was listening to like yours and Pierce's podcast of like you guys broke it down 2,000 milligrams like per preload. Like I just take salt and like I'm a big pink Himalayan guy, but like I do sadly a lot of bro math. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, like this is about this much. Like I think I'm good here.
Yeah, I mean that's what's in Switchback is pink Himalayan salt.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Tastes better though, so it's not just straight salt.
Yeah,
but it's the same. Serves the
and
same
like
purpose.
yours is way.
And you got to have potassium too. Potassium's important also because it helps shuttle the sodium.
Yeah.
So and you can have too much potassium. It's like it's all a ratio, a good balance. But I think for electrolytes, the best thing you can do is just get a sweat test done. Have you ever done one?
No, but I saw you do one.
Yeah.
This is like months or not.
It was over a year ago probably.
Yeah, where you like did the full video on the sweat test. I haven't done that, but
there's two ways you can do it. I've done both ways. Where you do like tape a gauze to your arm.
I saw that video.
And you do a workout and you like send it in. I thought that one was gonna be less accurate, just because it's like there's so many more steps and like ways, like chances for it to get messed up. Yeah. And then there's the other one where a guy came here and he like stuck this thing on my arm and it opens up your sweat pores and then it extracts the salt. And so that's pretty cool too.
Like just relaxing. You don't have to.
Yeah,
like...
you just literally just sit here and it opens them up, and then they were both within like 50 milligrams of each other, so it's super close to each other, which was cool.
Yeah, because I think I'm a very heavy sweater like you are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it'd be cool to steal his stats and see that.
I mean, you can do your sweat rate based on just like weighing yourself, so you could do that. But then because that's way more variable, it's like depending on how hot it is outside, how hard you're pushing. But then your sodium concentration, that's the same all the time.
Okay.
So once you do that test one time, then you always know what your sodium rate is.
Like how much sodium you're losing per hour?
Yeah, it's like per liter of sweat.
I
how
should
much
really
sodium.
learn that.
Yeah, it's cool. Super
with
helpful.
ultras and stuff.
Yeah, I think I mean nutrition's such a big part. Obviously for ultras, probably more so than for marathons, just because it's so long.
I feel like ultras is just an eating contest. Like my best ultra nutrition that I had was at Mid-State Mile, and like 27 hours, I felt good the whole time through. No cramps, no nothing, no stomach pains. Had like 3 solid movements. I was like, I ate 15,000 calories in that 27 hours. My sister tracked every single thing that I was eating. And like we could see within each hour, like if I got like 300 to 400 calories, I was like struggling the next hour compared to if I was getting like 500 to 700 an hour. Like I was just up and positive in spirits.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So,
15,000?
Yeah.
What were you eating?
A lot of peanut butter, banana, honey, tortillas.
So that's a lot of fat, I guess, with peanut butter. That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm a big carbs and fats guy, like when it comes to race. And then like I'll have a couple protein shakes, but it's more or less for like the ignition in it and the taste. But I don't know like how I feel. A lot of it, another was like ranch, avocado, like guacamole and chicken.
Ranch.
Yeah, just be like a creamer. Like
Okay.
because I got, you know how hard it is
It'd be
to
dry.
eat. Yeah, but I'm like gross. Like I know when I just need to get calories in, I get calories in. So I'm like drinking water, then I'll take a bite. Like Joey Chestnut hot dog eating contest for sure. Like that's how I get the calories in because it's hard to eat.
Yeah.
But if you soak your mouth with water and then you eat it, like you could just kind of like drink the mush.
That's so true. So you don't do gels?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I do. Not really during ultras.
Really?
Yeah. I just whole food and then we have like a carb electrolyte mix that I'll do that. But I dominantly try to do whole foods. A lot of salt. Like I'll do fruit and salt and like just eat that. I got a lot of fruit calories in then too.
Dang.
I ate like half or a full watermelon.
Dude, that's
that day.
crazy. I can't believe 15,000 calories. I think I tracked when I did Bighorn 100. It was 26 and change hours. So it was like similar to 27.
Yeah.
I think it was like 10,000 and I thought that was a lot.
But yours was a lot of gels.
It was like 98% gels probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, damn, like I eat whole, like.
That's crazy.
Well, when I did Daytona 100, like we're just going back and forth. Do you want to dive us in?
No, this is good. We'll just let it rip. Yeah, I like it.
When I did Daytona 100, I didn't eat very much. But like I lost 14 pounds in 19 hours.
Do you think it's probably mostly water weight? I'm
Yeah,
sure, right?
yeah, for sure.
That's crazy.
But I also like struggled eating because it got so hot throughout the middle of the day. I think maybe like minor heat stroke. Like I was trying to pace with the lady who won the race the year before, and I paced with her through 50 miles, and then she dropped me. 51 years old, an absolute queen, a light, an angel, like guided me, like me and my mom, and then one of my best friends, Justin, like he came out and paced me, and my mom crewed me as point to point, so they were driving. But like we just like ripped it together, and he was came in after the 50 where like she dropped me. I was like, all right, bro, I'm gonna need you soon. Like I can't keep this up. And then just didn't eat. We tried to keep me cool. And then towards the back half, I was able to like start getting in calories. This is when I learned about Coke in an ultra. Yes. I was like, holy fuck, like this is liquid God. Like it was truly a miracle. I was like, I want more Coke, Mom. She's like, really? I was like, yeah.
Dude, it's like the perfect ultra fuel. It's carbs, it's some caffeine. I think the carbonation helps with your stomach. And it's just like something about Coke. I mean, I don't drink soda ever unless I'm running. And it's like, it's such a good treat that it's like, it's so easy to get down, I think.
Yeah.
And it's so carb and sugar dense. It's a great fuel.
Yeah. It's like, I don't get why. Cause it's like, I would never recommend somebody drink a Coke outside of it. But I'm like, if you're an ultra, like, yeah, dude, get Coke. Like you want Coke on deck. Like,
yeah, dude. All the I post about it a lot. And there's so many comments of like, you shouldn't drink soda while you're running. That's so unhealthy. Like, what are you promoting out here? I'm like, tell me you've never ran an ultra.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. Ultras are so fun. You've done a lot of stuff, man.
It really started pretty recently. Like,
really?
So like I started doing birthday challenges when I turned 23, and like it was like my like birthday celebration, because we'll say before 23, of course, typical college bro, like want to go out, party, hang out with the boys, whatever. And then I moved to Thailand, and I was like in downtown Bangkok, and like for my 23rd birthday, I like just went to this Virgin Active gym. It was sick. And I did like a 23 years young challenge. It was like lift 23 imperial tons, ran and biked 23 miles, half and half, 2,300 ab workouts, 23 muscle ups, 230 calories rowing, 23 laps in a pool, 23 minutes in a nice room, read 23 pages.
This was all in one day?
Yeah.
Holy
And it was like my first ever, like, again, like kind of like, it's funny because I was listening to you and Matt, like your first episode. David Goggins got you guys into it. David Goggins got me into it.
Nice.
And then like, yeah, so I was like, you know what? And then also Jesse Itzler with this Masagi, his Masagi challenge. I was like, okay, like I'm gonna do my birthday challenge, because like I used to just whatever, be a typical partier or whatever. And then so that was my first one, and then it was like the best birthday celebration right around, like hour 7, or I think it took me like a little over 8 hours total, just in the gym nonstop. Had like 3 protein shakes and like little travel packs of peanut butter, like just to get through it. Like definitely underestimated the challenge.
That's awesome.
But like I started it because like I wanted to just push myself to that limit. And I feel like, with ultras and all the challenges that we do, like you do that because you want to make a commitment to yourself. You push through it. Nobody's making you. So you're only doing it for yourself. And when you get through like that self-confidence, self-belief, like self-love is unmatched.
I love
and like
that.
That's with every single challenge we do, every single race, every program you follow. Like I think that is like my biggest piece of like why I do it.
Dude, 100%. I couldn't agree more. I think that's what kept me in it so long, and what it got me into it, like that hooked me, was the self-confidence that endurance and fitness builds. Did you struggle with self-confidence? Before all that?
Yeah. So I was a military kid. I moved every 2 years my entire life. Went to 3 different high schools in 3 different states, from California, Tennessee, ended in Missouri. Started in California, like graduating class would have been like 800 people. Went to Tennessee, like 450. Dixon, Missouri, I graduated with like 73 people. And then obviously like in more developing years, like elementary and middle school, again, moved every year or 2 years. And I was always a little guy. So I say like I have like little man syndrome. And it is what it is. Like I'm proud of it, not like tried and true, but like I was always a little, like I wrestled 106 my freshman year of high school.
Holy crap.
Yeah. I was like 5'2".
What are you now, like 170?
175, 180. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's like my comfortable weight. Right now, I'm like, this last weekend, I was 180. I was like, I've never been 180 1 week out in marathon prep.
How tall are you? Like 5'8", 5'9"?
I'm 5'11", bro.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'm trying to give myself more credit.
Yeah. 5'10", 5'11".
Okay.
My license says 5'11".
Okay.
But
on Tinder, it's 6 foot.
yeah, 6'1". I got those new like TikTok shoes. No, I don't have those. I promise.
What are the TikTok shoes?
Oh, they give you like, I don't want to seem like I know the shit, but they got like 3 inches of vertical, and it's like they market it like, oh, if women can wear makeup, men can wear tall shoes.
I mean, that's a fair point.
But I'm not going to, because like you're, it's just like
you gotta take your shoes off at some point.
Yeah, it's fake. I don't mind being a little guy. So yeah, like just moving around. Sports was a big thing for me to make new like friends in new places. And then once I like graduated college, still just wanted to be an athlete. And then that's where I really started doing the long format. And I feel like that's really where I like started getting self-confidence. Like even through college, like my track team would make fun of me because I was the only 4x4 guy that didn't have like a solid 8-pack. I'm like, fuck them. Like let's lift. Like let's lift weights. Like they were just really fast. I was like strong and fast.
Yeah.
And I remember like after college, they were like, oh my God, Mason. I was like, yeah, fuck you guys. I got abs now. What's up?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you, I think this morning you told me you ran D3 for track and field, and you were a decathlete.
Yeah. Webster University in St. Louis.
Nice.
Went there for soccer and track. And then after my freshman year, really just did track and focused on that because I became a decathlete.
Yeah.
And it was just so much training.
What was your best event in the decathlon?
Points wise was probably either the pole vault or the 1500. Just because most of them aren't that good at the 15, and like I could rip like a 440 1500 meter. So like a 5. My best mile is a 447. My best 15 is like a 440, which doesn't equate up. But yeah, that was probably my best scoring. My favorite events: pole vault, javelin, and the 400.
Dang, what was your highest pole vault?
Right over 14 feet. Yeah,
that's sick.
Which is like not great, but in the decathlon, that's great. Like,
Isn't one of my best friends from high school? He was like state champion in pole vault, and then he went to University of Wyoming to do decathlon.
Okay.
And I remember him telling me that like a lot of pole vaulters will just go do decathlons because like I can't remember why.
It's the most technical event.
Maybe that's why. Like,
so if you could learn that one and you're fast because you already have to be fast, you'll be okay in like the 100, 110 hurdles. Ideally, you'll be able to translate it to the 400. You'll be able to live more endurance. You'll be able to do the 15. Then you just have to learn. You're already a jumper, so you just have to learn long jump, high jump. Yeah. And then ideally you're kind of strong because of what you do. So then you could do shot, disc, javelin. So it does correlate very well. Obviously it's such like you're only running 90 to like 100 feet, maybe 120 feet, depending on your approach. Okay. But it correlates very well if you can get the engine for the rest.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Dang. So, I mean, you've always just been like this, like well-rounded athlete, just kind of good at everything.
No, dude. I was just,
it seems like
I think I'm a professional tryhard. Like, you look at my stats or just like my fatigue, like how I'm shaped. Like you would never think I was like a good athlete, but I'm okay at everything, which I think makes me a good athlete.
Exactly. I mean, like depends on what you're trying to do, right? Like if you're trying to be the best marathoner, you're probably not going to be able to bench 225.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about this morning, or squat 315 or something. But like, do you want to do that? Like, do you want to be the best marathoner, or do you want to be like the best pole vaulter, maybe? Or just for like human health, longevity purposes, like just be
the best all around,
good at everything.
Yeah.
Like the guy that can go do a HYROX or a marathon or a 100-miler or decathlon, whatever. Like that seems more intriguing to me than just being like one-sided.
I agree, but it's also going to seem biased because that's what I do.
Right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And maybe, I mean, at least for myself, that's my justification for like why I'm not the best at anything.
I used to be obsessed with like being the best in one. Like in high school, I was pure soccer, only soccer, every day, morning, night, soccer. And then when I graduated and like went to college, because track was just kind of a back end. I picked it up like the last 2 years of high school. And then I got like D3, you don't get athletic scholarship, but you get athletic scholarship. It's called like the university grant. It's the same thing.
Interesting.
But so then they like picked me up for both, and then I was burnt out on soccer, which is why I switched to focus just on track.
Yeah.
But it just goes to like, I think it's really good to be multifaceted because it helps keep your interest.
Yeah.
And then again, just like, I like to think of it as like functionality for longevity. Soccer is very niche, but I mean, it is great for longevity. It's cutting angles, accelerations, blah, blah, blah. But like the decathlon and, you know, now the HYROX and running world, like it's very faceted to everything. I can go through HYROX and talk about how every motion is from getting up and down off the ground, how it's like pushing something, pulling something, grabbing something. Like the wall balls is like getting up and down off the toilet, and then a little bit of an extra movement. If you could do a wall ball forever, you'll be able to get up and down off the toilet forever.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. That like functional aspect of fitness. It's like, it's cool to go run a fast race and stuff, but again, I think so much of it comes down to like when you're 80 years old, do you want to be the one in a wheelchair because you can't walk or stand up on your own, or do you want to be the 80-year-old that's like out in his lawn working, like picking up heavy shit, like doing stuff,
or going to do a half marathon.
Exactly.
Like, yeah. I just worked the Mo Cowbell Marathon this last weekend in St. Louis, and like there was like these 60 to 80-year-old guys that are out there doing like the 10K half marathon. I'm like, they're my biggest inspiration because I just want to be able to do that when I get older.
100%.
Because if I can do that, then I could do it with my kids, my grandkids. If I'm lucky, maybe my great grandkids, and like if I could still run with them, like that's the dream.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that, dude. This is a good segue into HYROX. Like, that's like, I definitely want to dive into like all the individual things you've done because you've done so much. But like, big part I want to talk about is HYROX because it's such a new sport. I feel like it's blown up. It's in so many cities now.
Yeah.
I think it's in like, I don't know the exact number, probably like 10 US cities. It's in a lot.
Yeah.
And you went to the World Championships this year in France. You've got a 61-minute PR, which is nuts for the Open.
Yeah.
You've done one pro race.
Two pro races. Yeah.
Like I did a workout with you a couple weeks ago, and you were just like cooking me. Like I couldn't keep up with you. So I'm just excited to dive into like the HYROX side of things. I feel like a lot of people that are listening to this probably don't even know what HYROX is. And I feel like in this bubble of Austin, Texas, everybody knows what HYROX is, but once you go outside of it, nobody knows. Like I was in Wyoming and I was telling people I was training for HYROX, and they're like, HYDROX? What's that? Like, what do you mean? And like nobody knows what it is outside of Austin, I feel like. So I'm excited to dive into all that stuff too.
Yeah, no, HYROX is super good. And I mean, I recently just learned about it in 2022. I was at like the Go Rut Games in Florida. And there was a HYROX activation. I'm like, what's this? And then we like talked to the guy, and he was just like, oh yeah, it's this like awesome functional fitness test. Like you run 1Ks. I was like, I like running. And he's like, and then you get some like strength activation movements in between too. I was like, okay, I'm interested. Because I used to be a CrossFit marathoner. And then I found HYROX, which is like, oh, this is way more functional. Like, I don't need to be like, I love gymnastics work, but I don't need to be doing Olympic lifts for the marathon necessarily. I think Olympic lifts are fantastic, but with HYROX, I'm like, oh, much more functional, and it directly kind of correlates to marathon training and like ultras. So did that activation with him, and then me and my buddy Josh signed up for Dallas last year. We both did the pro race. He won his division. I got like 10th in my division.
That was your first HYROX?
Yeah, first HYROX.
You did pro the first one?
Yeah, just jumped in. I mean, it kind of like just my mindset. I full commit to something. My first distance race was 100K. Never did a half, never did a full. anything like that. But I was like 200 pounds and like could barely
That's
like
crazy.
run a 10-minute average 5K.
Was that Rocky Raccoon?
Yeah. And then I did Rocky Raccoon in 22.
I think that's the same year I was out there. I probably talked to you then. I didn't run. I was filming when I worked at BPN.
Oh, you were because every time I passed the BPN booth, I was like, "Hey, yo, where's Nick? Like, how's Nick doing?"
Yeah, I guarantee you I saw you.
And then I like ran with Jordan,
Yeah.
during because he was running the 100K. Like I ran with him like the last lap.
That's crazy.
Past them at the end, but
Hell yeah.
but it was like really cool. That was the first time I got to like meet some of the crew.
That's sick.
And like Nick Bear's Leadville YouTube video was like kind of like what got me inspired to like want to do an ultra as well. So I was
That's
like,
dope.
let's do the Rocky Raccoon.
Dude, go. Dog. That's sick.
Yeah.
Okay, HYROX. I think even there's like this thing with runners that they don't like lifting. I think people are coming around to it. I would imagine most people listen to this though are probably lifting though. Like it's obviously a vast majority runners, but I think from my observations, people that are good at HYROX are people that they come into it already a strong runner, like they're already good at running.
Yeah.
And then they throw in the strength component kind of afterwards. Maybe they already have like some baseline for strength. Would you agree with that? Like, do you think the people that are better at HYROX are more from the running world, or what would you say?
Yes and no. I want to just like first highlight you because I think you do a really good job like recently, like talking about HYROX, and like you've always done a really good job about like incorporating strength movements. Like I know squat, step up lunges, and like deadlift are like your favorite lifts, which are just so great for functionality and for HYROX. But to like answer the question specifically, unfortunately, I think if you're coming into HYROX and like you want to be good, it would be good or more beneficial to have a running background because the race is dominantly 60% running.
Right.
And then the strength aspect though, like if you're already like well strength and you think you have a little bit of an engine, well, it could be more beneficial for you because you have the strength side. So you don't need to focus too much on like the strength motions for the events. You need to just worry about building your engine. And like the most important thing for HYROX is compromised running. And what that is like running on tired legs. So it would be like doing any type of like sled push, sled pull, lunges, whatever, and then going and hitting a run after that. Or how I like to train is like, I'll break them up into like Metcons or like little AMRAP sections. So I'll say like, I'll do a 10-minute AMRAP section where I'll do a 400, 800 meter run. This is where you could just adjust based off of your current fitness levels. And then you would do like a 20 meter sled push and then like a 20 meter lunges. And then you do that 10-minute AMRAP. And then you would do the same thing. Then you could do like a 2-minute rest. We're going to get into this tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah. And then it'll be fun. It'll be fun. And then I always incorporate something with the cardio station. So like for the first one, that's compromised running. We're doing like the heavy sled push, lunges, run. Then I would do like ski erg is going to be your base cardio one. And then you could do like wall balls or burpee broad jumps, pairing it with that. And you just like pair them with the stations in the HYROX that you need to work on the most, or that you feel like, oh, if I could train this one a little bit more fatigued, then it'd be better come like race day when you put it into play.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense.
So like both sides. If you want to come right off the gate and be a good HYROXer, have a good running base. If you want to be able to be strong in the events and you know that you're going to be a bad runner, then you just have to work on the running aspect more than you would the strength. If you're already a good runner, then you just have to worry on compromised running. Like, yes, strong legs or fast legs. And in HYROX, it's so beneficial to have much stronger legs. Highly recommend just listening to you and doing like squat, deadlift, step ups, Bulgarian split squats. Like HYROX is a very leg dominant sport.
Right.
The most upper body you have is like half of the ski pull, burpee broad jumps, grip strength for the kettlebell farmer carries, but a lot of it's grunt work. So if you could just like keep moving forward, biggest thing is keep moving forward, like step after step, don't stop. Like even in the HYROX zones, like at least be walking.
Yeah.
And before Dallas, like we're going to race together in Dallas. I'm going to see if we get in the same heat because that would be dope. That'd be dope.
Yeah, dude, I'm learning a lot from this training. It's been fun. Like I love just being a beginner and trying to come in not knowing anything and just figure it out. I mean, a lot of it translates from like what I've already been doing, but like I have skied probably like ski erg, I don't know, 5 times in my life. Row, not very often. sled push, sled pull, like hardly ever. So like all the movements are newer, but all the things like you said, like deadlift, squats, all that stuff translates. The strength component translates. And none of the movements are super complex or like overly technical.
No.
It's just like you said, grunt work, like just gritting your way through it.
Yeah.
Once you kind of understand the like basic techniques for the movements. But for somebody that doesn't know HYROX, we haven't explained this yet.
Okay.
How it's probably important. What is HYROX like? Break it down for us.
Yeah. So HYROX is, again, overall functional fitness test. It's the same competition every single time. So I think that's like the biggest difference between people are like, oh, it's like CrossFit. Well, CrossFit, the workouts are normally between like 3 minutes and 15 minutes. HYROX, it's typically between like an hour to an hour 45, just depending on like your fitness levels. But you run 8 1Ks. So 1K is 0.66 miles. In between each 1K, you do a physical fitness station. You start out with a ski. So you ski 1,000 meters. Then you do the sled push for 50 meters, sled pull for 50 meters, burpee broad jumps for 100 meters. Then you do kettlebell farmer carries for 200 meters. You row 1,000 meters. You do sandbag walking lunges for, I think it's 100 meters. I think I think
it's 80.
80 meters?
Yeah, it's like an odd number.
And then the last one is 100 wall balls, and then a 1K in between each one. Yeah.
And the world record for the pro, so there's an open category and then a pro category. Yep. Only difference is the weights are heavier, right? The world record for pro is like 54 minutes.
I think it's faster. I think Hunter McIntyre did like 51 or 52.
Holy shit. That's insane.
Yeah. It's just insane.
That guy's a beast.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah. So your open best time is 61 minutes?
Yep. Yeah.
And then your what's your best pro time?
111 at Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And dude, the weights are like significantly heavier.
Yeah. So weight difference in open for skier, exact same. For sled push, the pro weight is 455. The open weight is 350.
That's a big difference.
It's a big difference. And like, as somebody who normally walks around as a $175, like at Worlds, dude, I was like the shortest and like one of the like smallest guys, but it's okay. You know, small guys can win, you know, we can do very well. It's just about strength and having an engine.
Yeah.
Sled pull for pro is 350. Sled pull for open is like 225.
That's not bad.
The row is the same. The burpees are the same. The kettlebell carries are 70-pound kettlebells for pro and then 50 for open.
Big difference.
It's a big difference, but like,
I mean, everything's like 25 to 50% heavier.
Yep. Yeah. And then the lunges for open, I think, is like 50, and then pro is like 70, 70-ish. And then the last one, wall balls for open are 14 pounds. Wall ball pro is 20 pounds.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, for 100 reps.
Yeah. Damn. That's crazy. What I'm just trying to like comprehend all the weights because it's such a big difference. Because I've been training, I need to train probably heavier when I'm doing stuff. So
I train with all pro weights.
Yeah, I probably should do that. I don't have a sled in my house. That's one hard thing, but I can do everything else. Yeah. What's your best event out of that? You think? What's your like favorite movement besides running?
Honestly, probably burpee broad jumps.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Psycho.
Everyone says that too. But it's like, it's just like if you just like put your head down and just like you're just getting up and down off the floor.
Yeah. Is that your best one?
No, I'm pretty good at kettlebell farmer carries.
Really?
Yeah, like I could do pro unbroken.
Really?
Yeah. Strong hands. What's up, girls?
How do you train? I've just been like winging it mostly.
Yeah.
For farmer carries, I've been doing like almost every day. I'll just do like 60-second holds with 70 pounds.
Yeah.
And just like do like a few sets of that.
Yeah.
And I've gotten pretty good at that. But like, is there a better way to train? I'm sure.
Honestly, with kettlebell, no, it's literally just getting your grip strength used to it.
Yeah.
Because if you can hold it, you'll be able to move. It's not like the weight isn't too big of a problem to like hold you back. It's just being able to like grip it. And I'll show you.
Forearms cramp up.
Do they?
Yeah.
And like
only in one arm though.
I
don't know why.
It's just grabbing things. Like
yeah.
You deadlift, so you should have like a good like little grip
Right.
strength. And like, but outside that, like, no, I don't know if there's this maybe dead hangs too, like on a bar.
Yeah.
Would be good, like trying to incorporate sets of those into it. But I just do like standard kettlebell carries.
Okay.
And just like get used to it, and then come race day, it's all here.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, dude. It's so fun. Like I love the training for it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just going to continue to blow up because I feel like it's very low barrier to entry versus CrossFit. Like CrossFit got huge, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like the movements are technical. Like you got to know how to Olympic lift, do gymnastics, plus all the stuff you do in HYROX. And you never know what's going to be in the competition.
Yeah.
Like it's different every single time. But HYROX is like, it's predictable. People know exactly what to train for.
Yeah.
And the movements are relatively simple. Like
Yeah.
anybody can do them. It's cool though to like see a new sport pop up. Like I was waiting for like, okay, what's gonna be the next big thing? And I think HYROX is that thing.
I do too. I mean, it's huge overseas first.
Yeah.
Like their international races are over 20 international races first. I mean, I don't know what to say where it's from. I'd say Europe. Started in Europe.
I think it's Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So started there, huge overseas, and it's just come to the States, the last few years. But I do think it will really be the next one. Like it is honestly like such a great community aspect. Same if you think of like 5K, half marathon, like the running community is so supportive. Everybody just wants other people to get better. Like it's very individual. And HYROX does a very good job emulating that atmosphere. Like when you go, it's a huge spectator sport. So it's very easy. You can get from me to you on the skier to like spectate your friends or your family.
That's crazy.
Majority of the events, you can be within like 10 to 20 feet of your athlete.
Really?
Or you're seeing them like down a little bit of the field during like the sled pulls or if there's like awkward stations, but very good to spectate.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And like your family can move from station to station. And then they're inside of the 1K. It's not a 1K ring, but normally you do 3 laps, 2.5. You go out, you go in on 3 every time. In on 3 every time. Big people like miscount their laps all the time. That. Like my best friend Josh, who competed at Worlds, miscounted his laps at Worlds, and it costed him being top 3 in his age group. Yeah,
he did like too many or something.
Yeah, he did one too many.
Oh no!
Like, yeah, it was devastating.
That sucks.
He'll be at Dallas too, but
nice.
he's a tank. But yeah, just remember in on 3. Just go in on 3 every time.
Okay.
And you won't overrun.
That happened to Matt Choi when he did New York HYROX. He did like 8 extra laps. He did like a ton of extra.
I think he did an extra lap every single time, right?
I think so. So he ran probably, I don't know, like 20 minutes longer than he needed to because he did so many more.
He just wanted to run. He's a runner at heart.
Just needed more miles.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, dude, HYROX. I'm excited to see the sport grow. It's cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask something. Oh, this is like a selfish question. Because I want to have somebody film in Dallas, and I've hit him up to like get a media pass. I haven't heard anything back yet. It's been like 2 days, but people can literally go into the like on the course basically and like be there and film and stuff. They're that close, like the spectators.
Yeah. Not the spectators. A lot of them could get a media pass. I know a couple people in HYROX that like have media passes. So maybe I could reach out to one of them. Remind me afterwards.
Okay.
Who are you trying to get it for? Chris?
Yeah, either Chris or like Drew, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you know Drew Darby? Okay.
No.
You'll meet him at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways.
Yeah, remind me at the
Here,
I'll put it.
Okay. And so you qualified for HYROX World Championships. Was that in Dallas that you qualified or LA?
It was LA.
What is that process like to qualify?
So you have to win your age group.
Okay. So like men aged like 20 to 20 whatever or something?
Yeah. I think we do like 10-year gaps in HYROX. Yeah.
That's pretty big.
Not like the 5. But yeah, you just have to win overall in your age group.
First place in that division. Okay.
Yep. So yeah, I did like in Dallas, I got like 10th in the age group and I was unhappy about it, but I did pro. So I was just like, I bit off more than I could chew, I think. And then I signed up for the LA race that was 3 weeks later, signed up open. And then I went out and I won that in my age group. And I think I got like 3rd overall.
That's sick.
And that was a lot of fun. Like from Dallas to LA, like did not skip or miss one single rep in training. Executed like the plan perfectly to it. The day before, like went to the beach, meditated the entire race, like for like 40 minutes. Like my family was there. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go like visualize the race. I didn't think it would take that long, but like I don't know, maybe I just got like truly relaxed, and then the next day like executed the plan perfectly.
Dude, that's awesome.
And it was just so 1 overall, and then that got you an invite. But you have like 24 or 48 hours to accept the invite to the World Championship. So like some people don't commit on it right away because it's a big commitment. Like you're like, oh, I'm signing up for a trip to like Nice, France. This next year that was in Chicago.
I saw that.
Yeah, so that's exciting.
That's cool.
That'll be next June.
Have you qualified for that one yet?
Not yet. So season just started
Okay.
for the 2024-2025 season.
When does the season like start and end?
I think it started like last month.
Okay.
So it goes like September to June, like because you can qualify up to like 1 week before Worlds and like still get in.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's normally like one big last chance one, and then like people will go to try to qualify.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So where will you? Are you gonna try and qualify in Dallas?
I will. I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna qualify in Dallas.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's the mindset, baby.
Yeah. I know it.
And you're doing pro?
I'm doing open in Dallas.
Open in Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Open in Dallas.
Then I'm not. There's no chance I'm gonna be able to qualify if you're going for it too. What if we tied? Is that possible? Can we tie?
We'll cross the line just chest to chest.
Just hold hands.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to go for like sub 55 in Dallas.
Oh God, that's fast.
Because I'm coming off this marathon block, and then I'm going straight into a 5K prep. It's like a sub 17 5K prep just for the speed. Because I know I have the engine. I know the event's like more than strong enough right now. Like first time I've ever kept HYROX and strength motions in a marathon prep. So it's like I might tender my marathon time, but we'll see. Like I feel extremely fit right now. But
sub 55. You think that'll win? Well, I looked up for last year. I think it was like, it wasn't as fast as I thought it was going to be. It was like 103 maybe, one in Dallas.
For pro?
For open.
Really?
I think it wasn't sub 60. It was like 101 or 102 maybe. It was like low 60 minutes.
I think so.
55, I mean, I would imagine
that's ambitious.
Yeah. It's also probably grown. There's probably more people doing it now.
Just like, Boston BQ times, excuse me.
Exactly.
They're getting so much faster. Same with HYROX. Like,
dang.
Times are just getting significantly faster.
Man.
Like last weekend, the HYROX race, there was like 3 or 4 guys that went like 56, 57.
Holy crap.
And imagine running like a 57 and you still didn't qualify. I'd be like, motherfucker.
That's
like,
so fast.
Yeah. Can we, do you cuss on your?
Definitely.
No,
I'm just kidding. Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Okay. I was like, you don't have to blur me out a lot.
No, you're good. What does like a typical week of training for HYROX look like? So, I mean, I know you're training for Chicago also. You have Chicago in like 4 days. We just ripped a 10-mile speed workout this morning.
That's okay.
Probably not the best like taper workout, but
I think it's a perfect
we held back a little bit.
Yeah.
For most of the workout.
Yeah.
Does that would your training block look any different if you weren't doing Chicago?
Yeah, I wouldn't be running as much.
Okay.
Like
maybe then explain like what an ideal HYROX training block would look like.
Yeah, so typically if I'm doing, I like to stick to 3 strength movements. I'll do like a push-pull leg split. But like on Monday, I will dominantly do like a strength legs, and then I'll do a strength leg metcon at the end. So I'll have 3 days a week. I'll base it off this too. Like I am very big on like training based off how you feel. But like what you want to get in for the week. So like you have your requirement. Mine is 3 strength with 3 metcons, 1 individual HYROX focus, and then 2 speed workouts a week. So 6 days a week.
Yeah.
I train 6 days a week or 5 days if I'm slacking.
Yeah.
But for HYROX, I would do the leg strength, follow with the metcon, fatiguing more of that leg. So then it would be like sled push, sled pull, lunges, wall balls incorporated with a cardio station. Let it be running, skiing, or rowing.
How long is the metcon usually? Like how many minutes?
10 to 20 minutes.
Oh, so pretty quick.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. It's at the very end because I'm focusing more on like getting strong.
Yeah.
And then I'll like take an easier day, which would be like my upper body strength day. And then I'll do.
Also, if people don't know what metcon is, explain that.
Yeah. So a metcon is going to be, I don't know what the actual acronym is.
I think it's metabolic conditioning.
Makes absolute sense. But it's pretty much getting your heart rate up at a higher rate. And then you're picking like one station. So I will say like the running one for compromised running after strengthening legs is going to be the most important. So then we would say we'll run a 400 meter run. I'll do a 10 meter sled push, 10 meter lunges, and you do that 5 times.
And you're just like, the way I guess I would describe Metcon too is like you're just balls to the wall the whole time. Like
yellow line.
Your heart rate is up, like you're breathing pretty hard.
Yeah, I don't want to say red line. Like if we were to do like relative perceived effort, like your RPE, I would say is like 7-8.
Okay.
Because you don't want a red line to where you're gassed out. but it's just like a marathon. You want to find what I like to call your yellow zone. You're like right before the red, you're above green. It's still like we were doing in the 800s. You could have some one-liners here and there. Maybe that's like the motivation for yourself, motivation for like the person you're training with. But like you can still say some words, but you know you're pushing it. Yeah. So it's not easy. It's not your zone 2. It's definitely getting your heart rate up more. And like you want to feel the effort and you want to feel the lactic acid. It's the last 10 to 20 minutes of your workout. It's the most effective. Like you do the whole first half of the training section to get better in the last 20. Okay. That's where you gain the most fitness. Then for the push day, like I would still do like dumbbell bench, like inclines, shoulder presses, because all of that's going to help with like your wall balls. It's going to help you have like a stronger upper core so you can be tight and like the sled pushing. Yeah. It does have some effect in sled pulling. You're not hand over hand rowing. Your video with Gus was super good the other day doing the sled pull demos.
He made it so simple.
Yeah, good. And I mean, I think he did it to a T.
Nice.
But then I would superset that at the end with like I just said, your wall balls, burpee broad jumps, or like your kettlebell farmer carries with the ski erg, because now like you're a little bit more fatigued upper body. Yeah. So now it's like compromised skiing. Because if you do the compromised stations, like cardio stations, that's kind of like where we recover a little bit in the race.
I mean, the ski and the row aren't terrible.
Yeah. No. And then the same for like the pull day, when you're doing like deadlift, barbell rows, individuals, like more isometric stuff. Then I would do same Metcon at the end, but now I'm doing row. So compromised rowing. You pair it with what you're doing, and then I'll have one completely just focused HYROX workout, normally where I'm doing like a half sim, or I'm doing like, this is going to be more 45 to an hour. The HYROX people will call them your engine building days. But it's going to be a mixture of the cardio stations with the event stations in betwon.
Is that like the one we did a couple weeks ago? Okay.
Yeah, so that's an engine builder.
Okay.
Where we're not doing any like strength movements before, and then a smaller Metcon. Now we're just doing like a big engine 45 to an hour.
Yeah. What effort level, like RPE, would you say? Like that one we did, I think it ended up being like right on 45 minutes.
Yeah. That one, since we incorporate rest, when you're doing the stations, you should be going for like 7, 8 again, because you're being able to rest. Just like if we were to run intervals, you want your heart rate to come all the way back to that, so you could like spike it and push it again.
That makes sense.
And it's just being able to like show your body to recover faster, essentially, is what it's doing, and then being able to go out like hard again.
Right.
I'm a big fan of that. A lot of people like do the engine block where it's like just consistency all the way through. Fantastic. Huge. I do that all the time, but I also like having it because I want to feel like I can recover a little bit so I can push harder.
Yeah.
Because that makes me feel like when I dial it back and I go into like just my yellow, and I'll say the yellow zone RPE is like 6, 7.5.
Okay.
Not the 8, because like you want to still feel like you have some, but then that is the sustainability.
That makes sense.
Piece through it.
When this is one thing I'm really curious about. Like I think the hardest part for me has been the pacing of everything and trying to figure that out. Like I'm doing a mock race in like a little over a week from now, so I'm excited to kind of like put everything together and just see what happens.
Yeah.
But on race day, like how do you pace? Like obviously you're not really resting. Like you said, you're always moving, whether it's walking even. Like how do you go about pacing everything? I'm really curious on that.
Yeah.
You have like a specific strategy.
I'll say I'm the worst person to ask for this, because I'm somebody who's like, go out balls ablazing and then just hold on. But like smart strategy, it's so important if you can dial it back, because when you first go out the gate, everyone is hot. Yeah. The MCs do a great job of hyping you up in the tunnel, and then it's just big TV screens, echoes 3, 2, 1, and then like everyone just takes out. Normally that first like 1K split, like I'm doing like a 5:30 pace.
So like what is that, like 3:15?
Yeah, I'll say 3:30. And because sometimes it's a little shorter too. Like one of the laps is always like a little bit shorter. Let it be the very first one or the last one. But best way to pace, I would say, is knowing your strengths and your weaknesses first. So I know running is more of my strength, so I use that to push a little bit more. Then where you're recovering and you're adjusting your pace is in the rock zone. So the rock zone is, there's giant arches that let you know when you go in, like into the event stations, because ideally, so ideally my fingers are going to be the track around the outside. And then we'll say all of this is the the rock zone to get to each station. It's very organized. It's super easy with the numbers of like where you're going. But the rock zone is where you're going to adjust your pace to be able to like recover there and then know how you're going to go into the next event. So as soon as I come in for my first 1K, like I slow down not substantially, but I slow down a good bit in the rock zone. And like I like recalibrate my heart rate before I get to the skier. And then it's knowing your paces. Like,
yeah,
I know that's your hardest problem right now, but like with the more reps is where you get the comfortability of knowing like, okay, this is my good pace for like when I want to try to execute the 1Ks as. This is going to be my good pace for like what I want to hit the ski area as and not be dead. Which luckily like you start out on the cardio stations so that you can kind of have that like, oh, like you can slow down without making it being pretty substantial. Then like that, I think that's just a great place to adjust. But like going into like the sled push, a lot of people break it up in different ways. Like for open and like with how strong you are, I would say you do one leg straight all the way through. Pro, half, like only do half. Like some of the pros that do pro, like in the Elite 15, they'll do like thirds.
I've seen that.
Yep.
They like really break it up.
If you can control yourself to be really good about like getting back on the sled, then that's great.
Hard part.
Yeah, because like when I do it in pro, like I split up half and half, and I go half all the way, half all the way, half all the way, and I do a 3 breath pause in between, 3 or 5 if I'm adjusting. So knowing like your cues too, and like we'll go through this in the next like 6 weeks in training too, because I'm sure we'll get a lot of workouts in.
Yeah.
But like knowing how many breaths it takes for you to be able to like slow your heart rate back down like 5-10 and then be able to like push the second half, and then you get that turnaround, another 3-5 breaths back on.
Like doing wall balls, that's my hardest part. Once I drop it, getting back on the wall ball, it's like, oh, I don't want to pick it up again.
This is a tender story. Wall balls were my enemy.
That's how I feel.
I'm gonna show you this. Can I pull you something up real quick?
Let's see
so this was after Dallas. Wall balls took my soul. Like I'll just flat out say that. Didn't prep for it. Like, and first HYROX I did in Dallas. Like I didn't really train for it. Like I just kind of like went off of a whim. But like we became friends with one of the photographers, and I'm a yacker. I puke like through and through. Like if I pushed because I'll puke. If I didn't puke, like I didn't like give it my all. I feel like
I always have inklings of vomit when I do these workouts. I'm getting better about it though. The first couple, I was like, I had to stop because I was like, I'm gonna throw up. But
all right. So this was right after Dallas. Finished the wall balls, run across the finish line, and I'm just like trash can.
I'll put the video up on the screen. Oh, it's a photo. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, just
like
vomit.
Perfect timing. When I did Dallas or when I did LA, same thing. Puked right after the wall balls, but I crushed that. I did it 2 sets, 14-pound ball.
50-50.
No, I did like 70-30. Me and this dude were literally racing side by side. He got me. It took my soul. He took my soul. Dude. He beat me by 3 reps on the wall balls.
What's a good time for wall ball with like a 14-pound ball for the open?
Man,
I mean that's a last movement. That's like you've already been going for roughly an hour.
Yeah, a good time. You're breaking 4.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really good. It should like try to break 4.
I think I could do that.
I think so. I've been doing tests now, and like I could do 100 unbroken in like 305.
Holy shit.
Like 3 flat, 305.
And that's fresh-ish.
I've been
maybe?
So we'll continue the wall ball story because I'll just admit my humility. Hey, baby. They just look at you with those eyes.
Yeah, dude.
I'm sorry.
You're his favorite person in the whole world right now.
Thank God. So in Worlds, they have a new sensor, and like the standard for wall balls is just getting a lot more tighter, which I think is awesome. Like anytime you can like strict up a standard, like good, it helps the cheaters or like I don't know, not even cheaters. It's like sometimes you just get away with bad reps.
Right. So the sensor like up on the wall.
Yep.
Or like
so
on the target.
Think of truly like a backboard for a basketball hoop. Then they have like literally like a softball circle in the middle. And if you don't like cover that or hit that, it's a no rep and it flashes red in your face. I did 129 reps.
Holy shit.
I had
29.
Well, I had 30. There was one time I threw it up. It didn't even hit the backboard. Just came straight down. And like, I was struggling. So I did 130 reps to finish the world championship. But But like there was times like I threw it too high and like it didn't rep, or like I threw it to the left of the sensor.
Oh gosh.
And I'm like, what the heck? But you have to be accurate.
Yeah.
So like good reps are so important. Like train with quality. It will make the difference of you doing 30 extra wall balls
at the end.
Yeah.
Or it could be a minute.
Yeah, it was definitely a minute at that pace. I was struggling.
That's crazy. I freaking hate wall balls.
But since then,
yeah.
I like will never be humiliated by wall balls. I love wall balls now. Like I'm not scared of them. I was just training them I was training them every single day. Yeah. I did 1,000 wall balls for time one time with a 20-pound ball.
That was like a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It did wreck me a little bit.
1,000 is a lot.
It took me an hour and 10 minutes.
Just straight wall balls.
Yeah.
With what pound?
20.
Dude.
If you ever want to do it, I'm down to do it again
That's
because I have a vengeance. I definitely got to go under an hour because I did it was like 100 degrees outside at Squatch in the sun. And like I tried doing an EMOM style, whatever. But yeah, brutal. It was fun. I would do it again.
I hate wall balls. I'm coming around to them. When I first started them, my hardest part, like I've always been terrible at squatting. I have like, I think it's my ankles. I have like terrible ankle mobility.
Really?
So it's hard to get like good depth because I feel like I'm just going to fall over.
Yeah.
Because my ankles are so shitty. So that's been the hardest part, but I'm getting better at them. And I've been doing them like 3 times a week probably.
That's
just
good.
To get better. So,
yeah.
And again, it's not like a technical movement really. It's just like you squat and you throw the ball up.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not that complicated.
And
but,
you're like, oh, 14 pounds? That's not much. Well, do it 100 times.
Yeah.
You just then it's going to wreck you.
I've been doing a lot. Like when I first started with a 14-pound ball, I was doing sets of like 15 because I was so bad at it. Now I'm up to like 30 to 40.
Oh, good.
I think I could probably rep out like 50 right now unbroken.
Fresh or like with some fatigue?
Like at the end of a workout.
Okay.
So I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Progress. I would love to be able to do 100 unbroken though. I mean, that'd be the goal at least. I don't know. I bet maybe I
could do it. You could do it. You could do
Dude,
it.
Honestly,
sure.
my shoulders get tired more than anything.
Yeah. So like push days are necessary. Like you have to have your strength, and then again, you're fatigued doing it. Like it just makes the world of training when you're doing it fresh for the full day.
Damn. Dude, this is great stuff. HYROX.
Okay.
I hope we've sold some people on HYROX because it's been so fun to train.
I'll also just say like we dabbled on, like I said, it was like really good in the running community too, and like how good of it is for a spectator sport. It's also extremely well organized. Like the race is almost to a T distance, no matter what city you're in. Like with the rock zone, every time I'm like right at 5.5 miles. But then the biggest thing that I like, if we could sell people on it, it's truly a party. Everyone is there. You'll see every single shape, size, age, fitness level, and it is truly like an accomplishment based, just like the 5K, 10K, half marathon, marathons. Like it's not just fire breathers. That's what I call people like myself that like just go to like breathe fire and like PR. It's very awesome to see every single person, like they have adaptive ability or adaptive divisions too. And there's no excuse for somebody that has one leg is doing it. And it's like, sick. Bro, you have no excuse. Like go do it. Like just take the steps. Like, and it's doesn't matter on your time. Like you could be on the course for 2 to 3 hours.
There's no cutoff, right?
No.
It's just go till you're done.
Yeah. And I mean, like I've stayed till the very end at Dallas last year, and like we stayed till the very last person went through, and it was so cool. Like then all the volunteers get behind them. They cheer them on for the wall balls. I would hate to be that one person.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's, I'm like, I'm trying. Like, but like they do such a good job. And like the DJ, like at the 100 wall balls is like 2 just giant columns of wall balls. There's a DJ right there. It's like huge stands on the side. So it's a great like finish, like activation with everyone just supporting you, cheering. Like they do a great job of building the atmosphere around it too, which is like why I think it will be such like a good, like trendy, kind of like getting people into the fitness. And then if they can see the longevity aspects of it, like cool, like yes, it seems like a lot. Well, if it seems like a lot individually, do a duos and then split it up together. And if that seems like a lot, get a team of 4 and do a relay and get
4 people teams?
Yeah. But most of them are fire breathers. Like 4-person teams, I feel like are just going really fast.
I mean, you can. I mean, you're breaking it up like that. Yeah.
Everyone does like 2 events.
Yeah. Dude, that's sick.
But it's just so cool to get into it, see it, like feel the experience, feel the atmosphere, and then it's awesome. Like it's not overbearing. That's cool. So if we could sell people on it, like I highly recommend. Come to Dallas, see us. I'll get you to come to sign up for Houston. We'll go to Houston.
When is Houston?
February? Yeah, February, March.
We're looking at maybe doing HYROX Switzerland, and then maybe do like a ski trip with it potentially.
When's that?
I think it's like early February, so we'll see. if you're in for Switzerland.
Dude, I'm are you a snowboarder or skier?
Skier.
I'm not in for it anyway.
I've never snowboarded, only skied. I played hockey, so
I've
it was
never
like
skied.
good translation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to make it clear, we don't work for HYROX. We're not like ambassadors. Or
Yeah.
anything.
I'm not even, not ambassador at all.
Yeah.
But if you want one.
I haven't even done the race, and it's like, I know I'm going to do more of them just because the training is so fun. It's something different like every day, even though the race is the same. It's like there's so many movements you have to train that like every day is so different.
And I'll also say I set a training schedule that is like for like somebody who's like really committing and like trying to develop at a really high speed.
Yeah.
I think perfect HYROX training for like, somebody just getting into it. Try to do 2 HYROX workouts a week. HYROX workout page, HYROX America, HYROX USA, like follow these HYROX pages. They all post workouts. They're obviously very demographic for like getting better in the sport, engine building, focusing on different ones. Like try to do 1 or 2 of those a week. And then outside that, just get movement. Like movement's medicine. So as long as you can do that and then you're focusing like 2 days a week, you'll get better. You'll be able to do the race. Don't try to do like 3 strength, 3 metcons, 3 or 1 HYROX, 2 speed workouts. Like build up to that level if that's what you desire. But other than that, like I don't want people to like get scared of how much, and like it is very manageable. It's very sustainable, and the longevity of it is truly just so important. Like I just can't be the biggest advocate because it's nothing too complex. Like you said, everybody can do it. And like if you just correlate it to your life, like if you can do these motions, then you can do everything in like your day to day more than well.
Yeah, I like that comparison you made of like if you can do a wall ball, you can get up off the toilet.
Yeah.
You can
burpee broad jump is getting off the floor.
Yeah.
Sled pushing is being able to push a cart or like push your kid, push a stroller.
Yeah.
Like pulling is like, there's not too many things where we have to like pull in like day-to-day life, but like having those back muscles is extremely important. Like that's holding your, unfortunately people get older, like they get their hunchback.
Right.
Well, if you can keep your back tight, it's going to help you like keep straight up a little bit longer in life.
That's so true.
The lunges, getting up and like you fall down, you have to like kneel, like kneeling, getting back up. Like it's so applicable to real life. Like kettlebell farmer carrying, like every single man carrying the groceries is in one trip. Like that's what I train for. Like I train for life. Like if I can kettlebell farmer carry, I can carry the groceries in one trip. If not, just watch me. Like
that's so true. I love that. I mean, if you're doing 70-pound carries unbroken, like groceries are nothing.
Yeah, they're nothing.
That's awesome.
I want to know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna flip the script.
Okay.
How did you find HYROX?
I think just living in Austin.
Living in Austin.
Like just hearing people talk about it. I feel like I heard about it maybe like a year and a half ago. Maybe like last summer, like 2023.
Yeah.
Just going to like the gyms more in Austin, like Squatch or On It.
Yeah.
I think that's where I heard about it. Like I think sitting in a sauna, I heard a bunch of people talking about it one time. And I was like, damn, this sounds interesting. And I think I saw some people I follow posted some pictures. Dude, sauna talk is the best. Yeah, I think some people I followed, dude, like I know Matt Choi did New York last year or this year, whenever that was. Probably following you too. Just like a few people on Instagram.
What made you like actually want to try it? Like you have been pretty dominant in the running space for a while.
Yeah. I mean, I've always loved lifting, and I always like the idea of CrossFit, but I hate Olympic and gymnastic stuff because I'm so bad at them. And it just feels so unnatural. I feel like I'm going to hurt myself because they're so technical. And I've tried it before. And like I committed like a whole summer to it a few years ago. So just trying to figure out the Olympic and like gymnastic stuff. And it did not click with me. But I love the like Metcon side of it, of like doing a really tough like 15 to 30 minute workout and just like pushing yourself really hard. But I always gravitated more towards like kind of the HYROX type stuff where it's like simple grit kind of movements. So I knew I was going to like it, and it seemed like something that I could be decent at too, because it's more endurance running focused with some strength. Yeah. So yeah, and then I was like back and forth on it, but I was like, I don't need to sign up for another race this year. And then this summer, I was just impulsively, I was like, let's just do it. Let's just
You've
figure
had
it
such
out.
a monster year. Such a monster year.
It's been too much, baby. I don't know. I haven't gotten hurt, fortunately. But I was like,
It's because you do strength motions and he's a runner.
That's a big part of it.
I know. You brought it in the beginning, like a lot of runners are a little bit shy of lifting, but it is so important for strength. Like you're focusing so specifically on running that when you can start bringing in the strength component on it, like you're now strengthening all of your extra metatarsals and like large muscle groups that you aren't getting just running. So it's going to hold everything in better. Like, truly believe in it. Truly, like that's the best way to stay out of the injury phase.
I mean, building up all the connective tissues in your joints, like even like strength training helps with bone density, like avoiding stress fractures. Like I'm pretty confident I don't think I'll ever get a stress fracture because of how heavy I typically lift.
Yeah.
And then just having like stronger muscles is gonna help you like not break down at the end of a long run or a speed workout because your muscles are so much stronger and have so much more durability. Because usually, like I feel like when you get hurt in running, it's because you're running with compromised form because your leg muscles like aren't capable of keeping up. So when you have strong legs, it's like you can run with better form for longer miles. So therefore,
you never got like shin splints or
when I first started, I did because I didn't really lift. Yeah. And it was just I was newer to running. I probably jumped in way too fast. Like similar to you, my very first race was like 12-hour run in the mountains.
Nightcrawler. Yeah, that was your first one.
And so I was in like David Goggins mode. Like gotta go as hard as I can. And then I was never hurt where like I couldn't I guess I did. I got runner's knee twice, once in each knee, and I couldn't run for like 3 months.
Like Osher Slaughter's in the front or
I guess runner's knee is like a broad term. It was just like I had like terrible knee pain if I tried to run. That happened in both knees on different occasions.
What'd you do to overcome?
Just stopped running.
Yeah.
And then started lifting when I got back into it. But yeah, no like real debilitating stuff, fortunately. And I think playing sports growing up helped a lot too. I never ran, but always just like being active, I think helped probably.
What was your main sport growing up?
Hockey.
Hockey? Okay.
Yeah. So like I think a lot like it's pure legs.
Yeah.
And like the joints and stuff too. But you don't get impact in hockey because it's like you're skating, you're not like jumping or landing on anything. So
hockey's the hardest sport in the world.
It's a gnarly sport.
I've played I've played a lot of sports, and just recently before I moved down here, I learned how to play hockey.
Oh, sick.
I was getting coached by the Blues Power Skate coach, John Stanbrook. Huge shout out to him. If you're ever in St. Louis and you need great hockey coaching, he's the man. He's a Blues Power Skate coach. My president, Sal Frisella, challenged me because I was trying to get him to pay for my flight to France for the HYROX World Championship. And he's like, all right, put your money where your mouth is. I was like, all right, any sport, let's go. And he picked hockey. I was like, all right. I didn't know he played hockey. And then one of our coworkers, like her name's Grace, was like, my dad's a power skate coach. Like, let me ask him if you guys are seriously playing. Well, he trained me for like a month straight. And I was like, I was getting like 5 hours of ice time a week.
That's sick.
On top of like, I was supposed to be training for HYROX World Championship, but I completely pivoted and like got obsessed with hockey. And of course, like I'll show you videos from where I started to like where I ended. We never got to play because I ended up moving down here. Time just didn't allow us. But like I took it super serious, and I think that's what he did pay for my flight to go to France.
That's awesome.
And I think that's wise because he saw like how serious I was getting, and maybe he talked to John and was like, I was getting good. Like it was really cool because like I could skate, but I couldn't like hockey stop. I couldn't like jump and turn, like whatever. But by the end, like I was able to do like single skate, like S turns, like curves, like puck work. Like it was a lot of fun. But the hardest thing, like trying to learn, just like you in this new HYROX stage, like being, just like, golden retriever energy and like excited to learn. Yeah. That's how I was with hockey for that month. And like, it was so fun. I had coworkers coming with me to do like stick and pucks at night. Like, I got obsessed with it. So huge respect now for hockey players, even more after like doing it for a month.
Dude, that's so cool. You're making me miss hockey. I played it for 20 years, I think. Basically from the time I could walk.
Is there anywhere here?
There's a couple rinks. The Dallas Stars have like a farm team in I think Round Rock. Okay. Or Cedar Park. They have like a big stadium up there. I think there's like 1 or 2 actual like public ice rinks though.
Okay.
Dude, we should go skate sometime.
Dude, we should.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. I would be so down to do a little stick and puck. I don't have gear here.
Mine's up in Wyoming too.
Do you have skates down here?
No. We could rent shit, but I hate renting stuff. Yeah. It always sucks.
We'll get skates down here. First, I would love to. Because like I just learned it. And it's like I brought a stick down here. I got pucks. Dude,
that's awesome.
We should definitely get you back in it.
Yeah, I mean, hockey, like, I mean, it's, imagine like trying to play basketball, but you don't know how to walk or run. It's like not only do you have to know how to move and like maneuver around the ice,
Yeah.
but then you have to like figure out the strategy of the game and like stick handling and shooting and things like that. Like,
And
so many
guarding
elements.
and like, oh, dude, so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I will still eat shit and fall, but it's so fun.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I miss hockey. It's a fun sport. It's very gritty.
Is it the only sport you played?
I played baseball too. I was actually probably better at baseball, but I had some coaches that just like ruined it. I quit. I think my sophomore year of high school. But yeah, I played hockey. I played club in college for like 2 years. Okay. So that was fun. And yeah, we won like state championship 4 years in a row in high school. Like a big deal.
Shit! Okay, that is a big deal. That's a huge
I mean, it was
deal.
Wyoming, so it was like not as much.
Don't discredit. Dude, state champion, Wyoming seasons. When did you go to high school?
Oh shoot, 2012 to 2016.
2012, 2016. Go look up the ring.
Yeah, dude. That's so funny. Dude, you're just a hybrid, all well-rounded athlete through and through.
It's definitely become that way.
Is there anything you like haven't done in the athletic fitness world?
Yeah. Polo. I've never played polo.
Okay.
You know where they ride horses.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, we could get very specific, I guess.
But like generic sports. No, I'm originally from Cali, so like covers all like the volleyball, beach activities. I surfed, I sponged.
What is sponge?
Sponging is like aggressive boogie boarding. So you like go out with surfers, but you have like a custom like foam board, and you normally wear fins.
Okay. I never knew that. That's what that was called.
Yeah, it's big in like Santa Cruz.
That's big in Hawaii too.
Yeah,
it's huge.
Hawaii is where I learned how to surf in 4th and 5th grade. Yeah.
Can you still surf? Like if you went out right now?
Yeah, we could go. Yeah, let's go shred.
What's like the biggest wave you've seen?
I've double overhead. So what that means is like open face is normally like 6 feet. You could say double. So like I had a 12-foot barrel one time on a sponge board. So I wasn't surfing. Biggest surf was just like a 6-foot, so it was straight overhead.
That's crazy.
But then yeah, the double barrel was nuts.
Dude.
Because you're on your water level and then it's over top of you. But I've also had some pretty bad accidents, like where I'm like got stuck in like we call it like the washing machine, where like you just get stuck in the tide and it just beats you down in the grass or in the sand.
That's what I'm afraid of with surfing. Is like I'm a terrible swimmer. So like if I get stuck in between waves or something, or I get knocked off, I'm not coming back up.
But like beginner surfing, like you don't have
That's true.
the tides that strong ideally, and like you're not gonna go out if like I see like a giant like 5-foot face or a 6-foot face. I'm not like gonna take a newbird snowboard or a surfer.
That's true.
Also a big snowboarder, love snowboarding. But yeah, like you can do it like just on like where you see those white ripples, like you get a longboard and just like pop up on those.
I did that in like Waikiki a couple times.
Yeah.
There's like the little like 3-footers.
Yep.
Super easy.
Perfect to start out on. Get a longboard, great for your balance. Like
even those are tough though. Like I've never done anything like that. I think the hardest part is like reading the waves and reading the ocean and trying to find like that timing of it. Because once you catch the wave, it's not that hard. Like the board carries you.
Paddle, pop up.
Yeah.
Like you go to one knee, then you go to both feet.
Right.
And like if you learn how wave sets work too, like normally like the ocean will come in sets. So you'll get 3 to 5 waves or whatever at a time. And like you can look it up on like surf apps that will tell you like what your set rep is, like what's the approximate like wait time between waves or tides coming in.
That's cool.
So yeah, like you can like scout it out and like know when like the tide's coming up, like when you want to go hit it.
I didn't know that. Have you been up to the wave pool in Waco? Dude, I mean if you love surfing, you gotta go up there.
Really?
Yeah, it's I don't know who owns it, but there's a big wave pool.
Do they have like a pump wave?
I think so. I don't know.
Something that creates a giant wave.
I think so. Yeah, it's in a pool. It's just for surfers.
Oh, heck yeah.
Like Kelly Slater has a couple of them that he owns. I don't know if he owns that one, but I know if like do you know Brianna Cope? She's a surfer in Kauai. She was on our speed project team. She's a big runner too, but she was here like earlier this year to go surf up there. I think it's legit. It's like pro surfers go there.
We should check it out.
Dude, I mean,
we should go.
I'll go watch you.
Why not? That'd be the perfect place for you to try.
That's true. They gotta like tone it down though. Give me like some like 2-3 footers. I'll hop on.
But that's like such smooth water. Like it's set up for you.
That's true.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm so down. Like
yeah, it's only like an hour from here. Do you wakeboard too?
Yeah. So I wakeboard like my sophomore year of high school.
Oh shit.
Stepdad had a boat and taught me how to wakeboard.
That's cool.
So yeah.
There's a cable park in Austin. Have you ever done one of those? I've never done it, but I have a friend. He was on the wakeboard team at UT. I didn't even know that was a thing. But they go to this cable park where you're hooked up to a cable on like a harness,
And then the cable pulls you.
and it just pulls you through this like jumps and like all this stuff on a wakeboard. Okay, let's go through some of your accomplishments because I think they're quite impressive.
I mean, I've never ran 3 sub-3-hour marathons 3 weeks in a row.
Well,
but
yeah,
different breeds.
you could do it if you tried. Okay, so you did that. Your first like big fitness challenge was that like 23 thing.
Yeah.
And then I saw you biked like 240 miles.
Yeah.
From St. Louis to Kansas City.
I did Kansas City to St. Louis,
Okay.
so I could end where home was.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, so that's the Katy Trail, old railroad.
Okay.
And that was like 2 years after I did the 23 years young. I did a 24th birthday challenge. Somebody asked like why I was doing it. I told them like, just self-confidence, self-love, like self-belief. This is how I want to celebrate my birthday. And she's like, oh, I thought you were doing it for a fundraiser. And I was like, it's a great idea. So then I started Finding Future, was like a nonprofit that I started. It was just a scholarship. So the Katy Trail was my first big like one that I like fundraised for. Did the bike ride. I did it with a buddy, TJ Griffin. Shout out to you, man. Love you, brother. But yeah, we did all 245 miles nonstop. It took 25 hours in saddle. And my mom, just like you, your mom screwed you for every ultra. My mom screwed me for almost all of my like endurance challenges.
That's awesome.
And she like met us at different trailheads throughout the race, or it wasn't a race. It's just us. So she met us at different trailheads. We'd restock the bag, get food, and then like go back out.
25 hours.
25 hours. Yeah.
Did you stop and like sleep or anything?
No, just.
It's gravel?
Yeah, it's pea gravel. So it's not road. So people are like, oh, that's really slow. Like, yeah, it's slow.
Pea gravel's like gotta be like miserable.
It's packed. It was packed.
Okay.
But it is like, we also did it in the time where it was May. So you're coming right off of winter. I guess the gravel is much looser. And then most people who do like this challenge do it at the end of summer.
Okay, after the 240-mile bike, that's insane.
Yeah.
25 hours on a bike. Your ass had to have been sore.
Oh, dude, I ruined it. Yeah.
I saw you did after that the 4x4x48.
Yep. Yeah. David Goggins was like that was my first big challenge I did with him.
That's sick. That's a fun one.
Yeah, I failed the first time I did it. So
me too. I that's one of the times I got like runner's knee or whatever.
That's what happened to me. Well, I guess the runner's knee the outside of my knee. I ended up like taping it too, and I was like, no, I don't want to quit. But like for me, it was like I couldn't run anymore, and like I like duct tape it. I went to like 32. I think
that's what I did.
Yeah, right around 32, and I was like, it's not beneficial for me. Like I knew I could walk it, and like that's not how I wanted to do it. Like I couldn't do it, so I did it the next year, and like. Just no problem.
Nice.
Like it's really just sleep and eating.
Yeah. It's like an annoying challenge.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not that hard really. Like 4 miles every 4 hours. It's nothing crazy. It's just like annoying.
Yeah.
Especially when you get to like the second night. You're like, it's like 2 a.m. and you have to get up and run again.
Yeah. And like you've only been sleeping like maybe 2 hours maybe 3 hours at a time.
Yeah.
Like if you're really lucky for some of those sections.
Yeah.
I just think food is the most important thing. Like
100%.
If you could stay fueled, like you can get over being tired and like get out. It's like, that first half mile might be tough, but then you just finish 4 miles and then eat, sleep again. Like,
right. Yeah. There's so many points. I think I've done it twice. First time I failed it. Second time I did it. But both times I'm like, I'd rather just go run the rest of the miles and be done with this and like just not have to worry about running more later. Like I want to just go do it. But that's like the whole point of it.
That's the whole part. Yeah.
It's like, it's such good intro to like ultra training, I think.
I think so. Yeah. It's just the mental training and like the mental aspect. Like, yes, we could all run 48 miles and whatever. Like we could do that or like walk it and get through it. But it is the monotony of being able to like get up, get down, like relax, warm up, do it again. And like, just like I said, like the mental challenge of being able to do it because Goggins isn't making you doing it. Like you're doing this for your own self accountability. And like when you can do it, like cool, you just showed like if you can get through this, you can get through a 12-hour long day at work. Yeah. And like I think that's the biggest correlation. Like everything I do, I try to like translate it to like real life and like how it's applicable to me for like day-to-day living.
Yeah, I love that. Dude, running is the best teacher of that.
Yeah.
Endurance sports in general.
Yeah. I don't like running, but I love what I get from running, which is why I run. Cause and if you ask any of my college teammates, they'd be like, "Oh, Mason, you want to run a mile?" I would laugh in your face. But now, I never would have thought I'd be an ultramarathon 27-hour runner. But I just love what I get from it, and I've never regretted a run. So
that's so true. That's such a good reminder. If it's it's almost every day. I'm like, I don't want to go run.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start moving, the first 10 steps, you're like, okay, now I feel better.
Yeah, I can do this.
It's
and then you feel good afterwards, no matter what. You'll never regret a run.
Yeah, and I think no matter, there might be good runs and bad runs, but still you don't regret it. You're like, you never end up being, oh, I wish I didn't go on that run the other day.
I'd be so much better if I didn't run.
Yeah.
Unless you're injured, whatever. But even if you're injured, again, I think movement's medicine. You said something on one of your podcasts. It was something with lotion.
Motion is lotion?
Motion is lotion.
I have a t-shirt that says that.
I put that in my notes. I was like, oh, that's so good. I've never heard that. And you said it was common. I was like, movement is medicine is the one I've always said.
I hear that a lot too. Yeah, motion is lotion. I have it on a t-shirt. I had a t-shirt made for it.
Okay.
It's like a lotion bottle guy walking through the woods. It's so good.
Love that.
Yeah. It's so true though. I'm curious, what we know, your training routine now, for marathons and all this stuff. You're always kind of doing something.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on? I'd love to hear how you do recovery and nutrition and treat a recovery or treat a rest period, an off season kind of stuff. Outside of just the actual tech or the actual training, how do you go about the other elements? Because those are just as important.
Yeah, 100%. Food and sleep are the most important for me. Just with how much I train, I use the first format. What's up? But it's more or less to track my protein. Protein's the most important macro for me, just because I know that's going to help with lean muscle. And outside that, honestly, I'm eating for fuel. I roughly try to get in 3,500 to 4,000 calories a day. That's a good maintenance. And I know people are gonna be like, holy cow, that's a lot. It is a lot. Yes, I do have a fast metabolism. Yes, it is nice for everyone that's gonna say that.
Must be nice.
Yeah, it's so nice. Well, okay, go run 50 miles a week. And then, then you could eat whatever you want, I promise. But so dominantly, I do same as you, 80-20 rule. I try to eat 80% good clean protein, good clean carbs. I'm a big rice, sweet potatoes, and whole potatoes guy. And then I eat pretty generic, with chicken. I do just straight beef, and I normally do 80-20 because I want the extra carbs and fats. Yeah. If not, if I'm not trying to get extra calories in, I'll always just do ground turkey. Feels better for my body. And I think that's huge once you can learn what works well for your body. But I do think, I know you're not super big into tracking your food, but I am very light on it. I don't think you should track every single meal. Be human, enjoy the things. I'm a huge sweets guy. I buy cereal, a family size box of cereal every week, and no, it's not healthy, but it's my sweet treat at the end of the night. Yeah. And I make it with protein milk. I make a protein shake just with milk, and then I pour it in, and that justifies it as it's a healthy cereal now.
Yeah. What's your cereal of choice?
So I rotate each week. Last week I had Pops, and then this week is Reese's Puffs. Oh my God. So I rotate it each time.
Is that your one kind of 20% cheat sort of thing?
That and ice cream.
Dude,
yeah, I'm a big ice cream guy. Yeah. I'm a big sweets guy. So I might be 70-30.
We have a lot in common.
Yeah. But dominantly breakfast, I'm always doing eggs, potatoes, or eggs, hash browns, potatoes, diced. I'm a big avocado toast fan. I do a light lunch. Normally I have a protein bar, protein stick, or a shake just because I'm working, trying to be efficient with time. And then I do huge dinners. I have 2,000, 3,000 calorie dinners. And they'll either be giant nacho plates. They'll be huge quesadillas. They'll be massive barbecue chicken bowls, hamburger bowls, or just straight cheeseburgers. But it's that's my big meal. That's where I'm getting in bulk of my calories. Everyone's body's different. Most people don't recommend a huge meal before bed. I do. It's where I can get the most fuel in. I've done it for years. In college, I did like intermittent fasting because I actually got like too big for like my pole vault pulls. And my coach was like, dude, you need to lose weight because we can't keep buying you pulls. So they like made me start fasting, and it like worked really well for my body. And then I would just do like very light breakfasts, like fast throughout the day, and then very large dinners, and I could eat whatever I wanted. And it worked well for me, and I kind of like just kept that. So, but now I know I need more calories. I try to do like a big breakfast, light lunch, and then big dinners. Sleeping, I'm somebody who I need at least 6 hours. 7 hours is perfect. Once I get 8 or more, like it's too much for me. Like I could feel that I'm a little bit more groggy. 7 hours, sweet spot for me. Like I'm efficient the whole next day. And it's just so important for the recovery aspect. I'm also going against you a little bit too on the cold plunge side. Like I know I 100% agree with you for the mental aspect. But I really do like it for a recovery aspect for inflammation. But I will do it, and this goes against a lot of other people, right after I like have my like HYROX CrossFit like strength sessions. And like, oh, it stunts your muscle growth. Like I don't care. Like I'm not trying to be a hypertrophy like bodybuilder. I'm trying to recover. Like I have my shake, and then I like go into the cold plunge, and I only do 1 minute to 2.5 minutes at a time.
Do you pair it with a sauna too, or just cold
typically
plunge?
No. Since I moved to Austin, I just do the cold plunge.
Austin's basically a sauna.
It's hot enough out here. Like I lost like 7 pounds my first like couple months. I was like, I didn't have it to lose. I was like, all right, I'm not like trying to sweat anymore outside of workout and training. And like cold plunges make you lose weight too. But for like the inflammation aspect, I felt like it was helping a lot because I was able to just like keep up a pretty high training regimen. So I really like that for like just a quick inflammation. I'm not somebody who thinks you need to go over 3 minutes in a session unless it's the only time you're doing it the whole week. But I'm somebody who will do it 4 or 5 times a week between like 1.5 to 2.5 minutes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think what I'm hearing a lot is find what works for you.
Yeah. Everybody's different.
Everybody's so different. You ask 10 fitness gurus how to do something, you're gonna get 10 different answers.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Because everybody is different. Unless they're all preaching you like this is the way to do it, don't listen to that person. Like no one way is the only way.
I think using all that stuff is like a guideline. Like if you're a beginner or like newer to fitness, or you're trying to, get into HYROX or running, whatever, like take all those things as a guideline. And then test things that work for you. And like don't just stick to one thing.
Make it enjoyable.
Yeah, exactly.
Make it enjoyable.
It's all about longevity.
100%. So yeah, eating 80-20 rule, fantastic. Make sure you get in enough protein first. For anybody that's like 1 to 1.5 grams your body weight. So I weigh 180. I try to get in 200 a day because it's going to help me with like lean muscle. It's going to help me keep my muscle on better as somebody who burns so much. It's also going to help me burn more calories. It's just going to help me stay just overall like fitter, and like your body's made of protein. So you got to feed it protein.
I always say protein is just free calories basically. Like I don't think you could ever eat too much protein and be unhealthy.
I don't think so.
Maybe if it's like protein shakes, you're just like eating 40 protein shakes a day. Might not want to do that.
But you need whole foods. Whole foods first. Whole foods always first. The only time I truly recommend like supplements is if you need to supplement it like post-workout. Like today, I will always do a post-workout shake after almost every single training because it's going to help speed up the recovery. So that's a big thing too. Like for my recovery, like I take first Phorm post-workout. It's ignition and formula in one, but it's truly going to help speed up the recovery. The ignition, that fast-acting carb, is a single molecule, so it's going to spike your insulin immediately, starts replenishing the glycogen, opens up the floodgates, allows that protein to like get into those tears as fast as possible and start repairing those. Because you do 2 things when you work out: you deplete glycogen and you tear your muscles. So if you can repair that as fast as possible, like outside that, like again, I'm always whole foods first. And then you supplement when you can't get it. That's why it's called supplementation. Like if you're not getting enough, then you supplement in what you're not getting.
Do you get sore a lot? Like this is a lot of working out, a lot of fitness, lots of leg focused stuff. Are you sore quite a bit? This is a toxic trait.
I think that if I'm not like achy or sore, then I'm not training appropriately. And I had a conversation with a buddy this weekend about it. So it's kind of funny that this came up. But no, it's like there's smart training. Like you could definitely like not be sore. But like I normally feel like a little bit of an ache. Like no matter what, I at least run a mile every single day. So like I don't have a break from that. But people are like, oh, you need to rest. Well, like, dude, if you're gonna go walk a mile, like I might as well run a mile at 9-10 minute pace. Like it's fine.
I feel like that, like slow, easy shakeout stuff helps with recovery.
Yes.
Because it's blood flow.
I completely agree with you. Like you saying like your 45-minute walks after a marathon, like when I started like walking after marathons and ultras, like I recovered from the 27-hour race in 3 days, and I ran a 5K like with my run club that week. It was tough. Don't get me wrong. But like I ran my mile the next day. That took like 13 minutes. That one was tough. But like, yeah, I think if you could just like keep the motion in, like it does help with that recovery and like being achy. But yeah, I get sore. And then like if I hit like a really hard leg day and then I do a Metcon sled push, like, yeah, dude, getting up and down, like I'm like, it hurts. Like, you know, the awkward get on the toilet.
Dude,
like
that's been the hardest thing so far of this style of training is like I'm doing legs, some form of legs basically every day. And my legs just feel so tired and more, dude, it's like my hamstrings. Like I did squats on Thursday. Today is Tuesday, and I can still feel it in my hamstrings because I did squats, like heavy squats, and then the next day I did wall balls. Then I ran 10 miles the next day, and then the next day I did another bunch of wall balls and like a whole bunch of leg stuff. So it's like my legs are just always sore. I think I'm starting to learn with this HYROX training, but I feel like at some point my body will like kind of adapt and won't be like as bad maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
It does adapt. The more you do it, the easier it gets for sure. But I will say like maybe it's too much because like when like today you would want to be fresh for like that 10-mile workout we did because like you want to have the intent of being able to go hard into it. So like I say like you do your one really hard day every 2 to 3 days because you know everyone's like, oh, it's most sore the second day. Like if you do really good that evening, like you work out your really hard first day, it'll make the first day of recovery a little bit easier. Then if you like have something movement wise, like a light, easier zone 2, it'll help recovery for the third day. Then you can like, again, recover. And then your fourth day is intent again, hard intent. And I think that's the best to like, to stay a little bit sore, but also be able to like be ready for the next hard workout. Because if you just go hard every single day, it's like what we call as the running world, like your gray zone. Like you're not getting better because you're staying at the same place. You're pushing every day, but you're not recovering. So you have the right intent the next time. And you just kind of get in like a complacent, you know, I'm not growing, it's the plateau. So just like when we explain to runners, like you have to go zone 2, which is like 2-3 minutes slower, 4 minutes slower than whatever your goal pace is, because you have to be able to like control it and just like go through it. Builds up the mitochondria and the muscles a little bit better. Like you could speak on that a ton.
100%. Yeah. Recovery is just as important as the work itself.
So 80-20, good sleep, find what works for you. Recovery rise, cold plunge, dynamic stretching, maybe some static stretching, then just movement. Just walk. Walk. If you're hurting, just go walk.
I think walking is one of the best things humans can do.
Completely agree.
Marathon PR. Dude, you have so many accomplishments. I'm trying to get through them, but there's so many.
Sorry. I can stop talking.
You gotta chill out, dude. You're doing too many cool things. 4x4x48, and then marathons. How many marathons have you done?
3.
And PR's 2:51.
Yeah.
Was that in Boston?
No, that was my second one. So I started marathon running. I started all my distance running in 2022. Started training for it all in 21, at the end of 21. First race was the 100K. Then one of my buddies asked me to run the St. Louis Go Marathon with him in April of 22. Was trying to pace him to BQ. So I like ran a half marathon for the first time and I was like, let me see if I'm even fast enough because I just came off of the Rocky. So I ran like the St. Patty's Day half marathon, ran like a 1:27. I was like, bro, I'm signing up. Like I could pace you at least through the half. And then we ran together. I ran a 2:58. He ran 3 hours and 30 seconds.
Oh, 30 seconds.
Yeah, we were side by side until like mile 22, 23.
Oh no.
And then like I realized how close I was. Like, Josh, hold on. I was like, come on. And I was like, I'm going for it. And then like, I'd keep looking back and he's just getting a little further. And then like I cross, I'm looking back, I'm like seeing the time. I'm like, oh fuck, where's he at? And I see him coming up the hill and it was just like a little too late. He tanked it, left everything he had. But then we signed up for the Mo Cowbell, the race I was just at this last weekend of 2022. Did a huge training block together. Come race day, we didn't even get to run together. We got lost in the corral.
Oh no!
Like we met at the first Phorm tent. We're like, oh, there's 3 minutes. Let's go. I get to the front. He doesn't get to the front. And then bell went off, and
that sucks.
We went. I ran a 2:51. He ran a 2:52. And then my third marathon was Boston of 24. I ran a 2:54 there. Had an incident at mile 7. Had to jump in a Porty John. Let out some demons. You know what I'm saying?
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, because it was everything. It was my best training block. First time I got a coach that like coached me in college. Everything was going to a T and felt good. Then just didn't have my nutrition locked in then. I like overindulged in like our pre-carb electrolyte, because I was like, the Boston just setup of like when I leave my hotel, getting downtown, taking the bus out, staying at that school until like start time, like
it's hard.
I try to like preload it all, and then like mile 7 I just had to go to the bathroom.
Dude, I threw up before I ran Boston.
Really?
What did you run 2023?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's where we met. Yeah,
I met throwing up somewhere probably. Or did you throw?
No, it was the basement. Okay. Yeah, the basement.
Okay. Yeah, dude, I vomited like 20 minutes before the start.
Really?
Because I did the same thing. The logistics are just so hard of that race.
Yeah, that's where I met you. Was your shakeout? Yeah, your shakeout.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's a small world. Look at us now.
Small world. Yeah, full circle.
Damn. So you ran 2:54 that year?
Yeah. Love the race though.
That was so much fun. Are you gonna do Boston again?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I haven't signed up for the last 2 years. 2 years ago was my fault. Like I just missed the time window. This year I don't know if I had a qualifying time. I think your time works for 2 years.
I think it's 2 years. Yeah.
So I definitely just should have this year, and I didn't, because I know I'll still be in like HYROX season this next year, and then I go straight into Ultra after World Championships, just like this last year.
Dang. What Ultra are you doing next?
Next, I don't know. I might pick one before. But one I know for sure that I'll do is Mid-State Mile in June. That's right outside of Nashville. Yeah. Chad Wright has a documentary on it if you want to see that. It's a 1.1 mile format every 20 minutes, 344 feet of elevation gain and descent per lap.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and I won the Spirit of the Race, so it invites me back next year. So
what is that?
Spirit of the Race?
Yeah.
Whoever embodied the race the most. I was that guy. I was like juggling on the webcam in between sets. Like I was like flashing it. I was just having fun.
That's funny.
And like I was just trying to carry as many people as long as I could. And then I got top 5. I got 5th.
Dang.
Then they honored me the award. It's huge, humbling. Thank you so much, Becca and John. Mid-State Mile. Can't wait to be back.
So that's where you did 27 hours?
Yeah.
1.1 mile loop. That's a ton of elevation change.
It's 25,000 feet of elevation gain and descent.
Holy
so it's
shit.
like, the distance was like 80 miles or something. But for me, it's the elevation. And that was 1 week after HYROX World Championship. So I was competing at HYROX World Championship in France, flew back on Tuesday to Austin, flew to Nashville to Knoxville actually on Friday. Then we drove down to Nashville because my mom picked me up, and my mom and sister crewed me for that. And just, again, huge shout out to the moms and the sister. Amber, like my sister was absolutely amazing. I could never have imagined every single lap. She was just like ready for me at the corral. Like, what do you need? She would take my trekking poles. I would go get dumped. They would have my chair, snacks, variety set up for me. Like she was the professional crewman. There's no awesome. Better crew than she was that day.
Dude, a crew is so important for ultras.
Yeah.
So important.
So that's the next one for sure on the books. And then I'm also doing a last man standing in Maine that I sent you at the end of August. But I definitely see myself jumping in one before then.
Another like 100 miler or like a last man standing like backyard style?
One of those two.
Dude, they're very intriguing.
Yeah.
But it also kind of scares me because there's no finish line.
That's good.
You decide the finish line, which is intimidating.
It was hands down the most fulfilling race and achievement I've ever done because it truly pushed me to like my mental, like my physical and mental limits. I didn't have one more ounce in me that day. But once you know that, like I immediately now know I can go farther. Yeah. And it teaches you so much about, like that race wasn't just about me. It became like I was competing for those other guys to push them further so that we could all get our best.
That's true.
Like it becomes so much more than yourself. And like, you know that. But what you get from yourself when like you realize that is truly unmatched. Like I could talk on Mid-State for another fucking hour.
Dude, that's awesome.
But yeah, I highly recommend it, especially if you're in that mindset of like where you want to see like how much growth you can have. Push yourself to that mental and physical limit, because the amount of confidence and belief, no matter what, I know that I can get through anything in life. Like if I have a car accident on the side of the way, like if I wake up and, you know, everything's broken, I'm leaking, like if I can run for 27 hours, like I can get through any small minutia task that life throws at me. And like, as long as you can like reflect back and like know that like that struggle was for your life, like I think that's the biggest reason to do like an ultra or a last man standing.
Yeah. I love that, dude. That's give me goosebumps, dude, because it's so true. That's exactly why I run. I think that's why most people run and do these crazy events. It's like, yeah, it's fun to do it. Like it's like fun to go have the community aspect and all the things with it. But like, I think at the end of the day, you're just making yourself better.
It's for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so sick.
Because a big thing for me, and like, I always think of it, like I said, life, like how can I love other people if I can't love myself? And like from that little like small syndrome Mason, like that wasn't happy to like walk in my own skin, like teaches you so much to like where I am now. Like I don't care what you say or what you think about me. Like I'm so proud of like who I am and what I'm doing and the impact that I'm trying to make. Like if I could just leave one person 1% better than I met them before, like I'm stepping in the right progress. Yeah. And like it's me versus me. Like I'm not going to compare myself to you, because like comparison is the thief of joy. So like, I think you live the happiest life that you have with the right intentions, being the best person. And like, I got that through running, like crazy enough. That's through so running really far and really long.
Yeah. There's two elements of like, you're not only making yourself better so then you can, you know, serve other people better, but you're also like, even without intentionally doing it, inspiring other people that might be seeing what you're doing. Yeah. And so there's so many cool elements to it that just like makes the world a better place. Yeah. Like look, Goggins inspired you, Matt Choi, myself. Millions of people. And then like we took that like fucking carry the boats, motherfucker mentality. And then we put our own vibe on it. Like I truly am like a golden retriever vibe. Like you could tell when I connected with the boys right away when I walked in. But I think then you are also kind of like very golden retriever vibe, very positive, like super great with your community, people that you interact with, like truly admirable. And not necessarily like the Goggins way, but he inspired us to do it and then helped us find ourselves and our passion like through that, which is super cool. But like I also definitely do have like the inner demons. Do you have an inner voice? Like 100%. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Things I would probably never say out loud, but I'll tell myself. Yeah. Like, you fucking little bitch. Yeah. It's that inside voice. Like, but I love him too, because I know like, I'm like, fuck you, dude. Like I can outdo you any fucking day. Like come in my head, like pause. Yeah. Fuck. Clip that. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, dude. I think the cool thing with running too is that like you said, everybody resonates with different things. Yeah. Like some people, I mean, at one point in time, we all resonated with Goggins of like, be that hard guy. Now, like that's when I did my first ultra, the title of like my Nightcrawler video was like, if it sucks, we must do it. And it was like the whole time, like it was like very negative energy the whole time of like, I was having fun kind of. Who'd you do it with? Just one of my like, hometown friends. Okay. His name's Wayne. Shout out Wayne, bro. We love our first ultra buddies. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like I wouldn't be able to go that far if I didn't have somebody doing it with me, for sure. You said you did 40. It's like 43 miles. Okay. Yeah. But the whole time I was like, this sucks. Like I'm doing it because I have to suffer. Yeah. And like, this is how I get better. And now like this year I won that race. Yeah. Because I think a lot of it was my mindset of like, oh, let's just go run and have fun in the mountains for 12 hours. And it like, everybody's different. And, you know, different things resonate. But it's just so cool how like, we're all doing the same thing, but we all tell ourselves different things. The mindset shift that just comes from not just running. I don't want you to think that you have to be a runner to do this, but like the mindset shift of committing to something and then following through with it, it changes your life from going from suffering to be like, okay, I'm gonna go have fun with this. My mom's coming out with me. Like, let's go see how good I could do. And like, you even thought that you had the potential to win and you did it. Right. And like, look, that mindset shift from the sucking to what place you get your first time? Oh, I don't even know. Maybe, I don't know, like 30th probably. And then how many years from, when did you do the first one? 2021? 2020. So 4 years, yeah. Okay. And then 4 years, like winning that race. Yeah, like it's crazy. And the mindset of like having a good time, celebrating your mother's birthday. Yeah. Happy belated birthday. Yeah. I'm just like such a fan. Like my mom has crewed me for so much. My dad, like my stepmom have come out for a couple of my challenges. And it's just like,
Family's so important.
Yeah.
Family's so important.
Yeah.
And, like that tight community.
Yeah, my mom's been at, I mean, I do so many races. I would never expect her to be at every single one, but like all the big ones, like if I'm going for a PR, or like if it's anywhere near Wyoming or something, she's definitely there.
Yeah.
Like, all the ultra stuff I think she's been at. Yeah, they're the biggest supporters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, that's great. This is good stuff, dude. We've talked about a lot of things. I definitely want to ask you about Phorm.
Yeah.
I know it's like a huge part of your life.
Yeah.
How did you get involved with Phorm? Because they're like, I mean, one of the biggest supplement companies now, like in the running, fitness, lifting space.
Yeah.
How did all that come about?
So it goes all the way back to 2021. I don't know. I started working there at the end of 2021. So I applied in 2020. I was in grad school. I just left Liberty Mutual, did the corporate life my junior to senior year, worked full time, took night classes, did that for about a year and a half. Realized that I wasn't going to have very much growth going forward. So I left, went to grad school full time, studied abroad in Bangkok for 10 weeks, moved to the Netherlands for another 9 weeks, came back. And then I got a job as a front desk attendant because I knew that at a Lifetime, I knew that like health and wellness was a space for me. I used to be obsessed with money. I was very fortunate to learn like not to just work for money and like work towards that passion. And the earlier that you could identify like whatever it is that makes you happy, go to it. So pretty much had a master's degree. I was 4 classes shy, came back to the States and then became front desk attendant. Went from there to Peloton for a little bit. And then after Peloton, I was back in St. Louis. Oh, but I applied for Phorm before I studied abroad. But I was only like 6 months before I left. And like, unfortunately, I didn't get it just because I told them. And from then, they told us that they were really big in like developing internally and like didn't want somebody to just like come in and out. Like they're very culture based. And it was really cool to see that back in 2020.
What made you like, why'd you apply to begin with at Phorm?
One of the buddies that I played soccer with at Webster University, Dino, still works at the company too. Like I was like, hey, like, tell me about Phorm. And then like I had some of the protein. I was like, oh, this stuff's amazing. CTC was like my first flavor that like got me hooked. So applied, didn't get it because I was moving 6 months away or in 6 months across the world. But then came back, worked at Lifetime through those after Peloton, went back to Phorm, just because I knew that they were hiring again. And, I thought it was just going to be like a perfect time. So at the end of 2021, started working at Phorm, started in the warehouse. Everyone pretty much starts at a bottom entry level position. Like you pay your dues, you work your way through, and then you get promoted. We also like have a huge education base. So the reason I left Liberty Mutual was because I wanted to grow. So that's why I went back to grad school. And then when I came back, like still just huge in this like learning phase. I was always honestly like just really dumb like through high school and just kind of like got through. Definitely just like a 3.0 grade point average dude, like B's. I got A in fitness classes, like PE and like home ec. Yeah. But then like, cool. So I took advantage of like wanting to learn. I enjoyed grad school a lot. And then Phorm, like it was huge on like when I interviewed additional like education, like they have like they have a degree program that's like required education, readings, nutrition classes to be able to even have an opportunity to get promoted. Which I thought was really cool right away because it's like you could immediately see like each tier that you finish of education and additional reading, you got another $1. So it's like I'm very goal oriented. So that was something that was fantastic for me. It was a big pill to swallow, like making pretty good money, almost done with my master's degree and like going back and like starting that entry level warehouse. But again, like I believed in like what they were doing. And like overall Phorm's like mission statement is to help real people get real and long-term results. And as somebody who was doing challenges and like trying to do this like by myself, like I thought I was just like that one weird kid that like nobody does what I'm doing. Like my friends would come out and support it and like they're like, dude, you're just crazy. But then I like found Phorm and like there was a community of people that did this like hard challenges, consistently finding discomfort, like consistently learning, consistently trying to just be a better person for other people. So that's like what really drew me in. And my buddy Dino like brought me back in, interviewed, worked in the warehouse for about 8 months. And I knew like what I wanted to do was community-based events. So after 8 months, like I got moved to our gym. Like we have a really nice gym. Like you just hold the standard, like the culture and the standard there is absolutely insane. But I held the standard in the gym, like made smoothies, like organized, like every single weight is perfect. Every single like number is level. Like it's, so if anybody was to come in, like it seems like a brand new gym, because like the biggest thing that like Andy and Sal, our owners and founders, it's how you do one thing is how you do everything. So like we even like wipe down the sinks after we wash our hands, like you turn in your wheels, like it truly does just embody like how you do one thing is everything, and like leading by example. So then after that, I pitched the events department to the right person when I was in the gym. They let me organize my first event, which was the Mo Cowbell that I was just at this last weekend.
Oh, really?
3 years ago. Yep. And 2022 was the first year that we sponsored it. Then I had like an after action plan who I needed to reach out every single step. Like, hey, can I do this? He got approval from one of our executives. They let me do it. And then that next week they asked the opportunity, like, is this something that you would want to do more? Let me make it a full-time like position. Cause First Phorm did events. Roughly they did around like 50 to 60 events as a year before I started, before they had somebody specifically in that role. And I was just lucky enough to be that first person. Then my first year, we did roughly like 130 events as a company. Very omnipresence year. And that's anything from like CrossFit, marathon, triathlon, bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman, like any type of athlete, pickleball, motocross, like we do it all coast to coast. And then from there, like kind of like earned me the opportunity to move down here. So just truly like finding that community of people that really cares about helping others, like the education side of it. And like, I'm truly just a big believer in Sal and Andy Frisella. Like those boys are just great role models. Like they take the time out for everyone. They're very passionate with how they speak. They have a great intellect. They carry themselves extremely well. They're great role models. They would never ask you to do anything they wouldn't do themselves. And that's something that I believe in too.
Yeah.
So as a 22, 23-year-old or 24-year-old at this time, like emerging into this education, inspirational, like just trying to be a better man, I found them and it was just like perfect timing, stars aligned. And then we're not just like a supplement company. Like we do have supplements. We have like a better for you grab and go category, which is like our energy drinks, protein bars, sticks. We also have, I truly believe, is the best fitness app on the market. It's just called First Phorm, but immediately as you sign up, you get a First Phorm advisor. They help you with nutrition programs. They help you with like training. They're your personal accountability partner. You can message them every single day with any type of questions about what to eat, how should I eat, what should I train? I'm feeling this achy, I'm hurting here. And somebody's there. It's like $15 a month. I think it's $12.99. It's about $15 a month. But then
crazy.
Outside that, you have a way to track your food. Outside that, you also have an endless catalog of training programs from like Booty Blaster, Bigger Arms, Bro Lifting. I think we have a running programs in there now too. We have hybrid programs in there, beginner, intermediate, advanced. And then we also have live catalogs of live seminars. So like our Sal will like get on, talk about protein, talk about the importance of protein, talk about carbs, and all of those advisors, not all of them, a lot of the advisors do those live classes, and then it just goes into a catalog. Like I could show you, we search up one, I could type in protein, and then it's an endless catalog of all of those live classes for people to go back and see.
That's cool.
For $15 a month. Like I truly think it's just a great way to get into the ecosystem, and like you have somebody there that you can message every single day. Like
that's cool.
They can be your therapist. They're going to hate me for saying that, but, but it's like, again, like we just care about helping people get real results. Honestly, like I hate to say this, but like I could really care less if you drink the energy drinks or like buy the protein. But if you're a part of like our ecosystem and you're helping other people get better, like a rising tide raises all ships. And I think that's the most important thing. Someday you may like at least buy the apparel. Like, yeah. Oh, we also have apparel. But I mean, like they've been around since 2009 and like they're doing a good thing. And like they're just trying to be a light for other people. And like, you know, rising tide raises all ship. If I can inspire one person to make one person a little bit better, a little bit kinder, I think that's what will make the difference in the world.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a sick story. I love that.
Yeah.
Literally from like the bottom.
Yeah.
The bottom all the way to where you're at now. That's sick.
I'm the first warehouse employee or the first HQ employee to be relocated for a role. Dang. So yeah, they moved me down here in April, and now I'm growing like our better for you category in convenience and grocery stores. I'm gonna plug the energy drinks real quick.
Yeah, dude, they're good.
These beautiful little energy drinks will be an HEB, every single store October 14th. So about 7 days from now.
Dude.
These are good. All 7 SKUs. The thing is like, we're high quality, like truly built off of integrity. Like our owners owned a supplement store for 10 years from 1999 to 2009. Andy saw the disintegrity in the supplement space and wanted to start his own in-house brand.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah. Yep. And so he literally, it's called Supplement Superstores, ran that from 1999 to 2009. And then they launched first Phorm on a higher quality. It's a little bit more expensive because we truly take pride on everything in the ingredients and like what it is for your body. Like you said, like this is a well-balanced electrolyte blend. Like I truly am hydrating myself a little bit as I'm drinking an energy drink. The caffeine comes from green tea. So just well-balanced, easy for you to metabolize. Over most energy drinks, if you ever look at an energy drink, there's big education for people. If it just says caffeine, it's an anhydrous, which is a chemical compound. It's just much harder on your body, which is like why you get hot, why you get flush, why you get shakes, why you like crash and get jitters. Our energy drinks or others, like education is the biggest thing about like one of the biggest aspects of first Phorm too. So if I could just educate you, look for just anything that says like green tea, coffee bean, natural caffeine, as that. And then outside that, we just have well-balanced electrolyte blend in there, B vitamins, and a nootropic that just comes from a coffee bean extract.
That's sick.
So just like, clean and well-balanced.
Yeah, dude, it tastes good. This is the like bomb pop, screaming freedom.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, dude, usually I get really jittery and stuff from energy drinks. I've drank half of it and I feel fine.
I'm a slow sipper too. It's 200 milligrams of caffeine.
If I did the whole thing, I probably wouldn't sleep tonight. It's bad. I'm so sensitive. I just don't do a lot of caffeine.
I don't either, but this is like the one that I do. Yeah, like I don't even take pre-workout with caffeine. Like I just like drink one drink a day.
Yeah, if I have caffeine that has like the caffeine anhydrous or whatever,
anhydrous.
Dude, I get like itchy and like tingly.
Yeah.
It's not good.
I wonder if they have beta-alanine in that too. But beta-alanine is a great supplement for us for like how we train. Right. Like I take it all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't do a lot of pre-workout. I usually like a non-stem.
I always do non-stem. I have a few non-stems that I might put you on.
I get very sensitive.
Yeah.
But that's sick. What is it like? I'm sure a lot of people that listen to this probably know Andy Frisella, Sal Frisella. Like Andy's got a massive podcast, big platform. Are they how they seem online? Are they the same in person?
Yeah. Yes and no. Yes, Sal, 100% what you see is what you get. Andy, he might hate me for this, but Andy seems very tough and like Andy is like very direct. His podcast is called Real AF. I highly recommend it. It's going to go over modern topics. He has a few different categories like Cruise the Internet. They go over news articles, talk about it. They do like 75 Hard, which is a mental toughness program that he's developed for people. It's not a weight loss program. It's a mental toughness program for people who need a regimen and a schedule in their life.
A big part of 75 Hard. Or that's a big part of what got me into running too.
Really?
It was like around that same time I was following him and Goggins.
Have you done it?
Yeah, I did it in college.
Okay.
Like 2019, I think. Yeah. It was so great.
Love that.
The biggest thing I got out of it was like, oh, I have time for 2 workouts a day.
Yeah.
That's what got me into like running and lifting.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
And then outside that, he'll also do Q&A. So like you could submit questions, he'll answer it. But he does cover like very like hot pressing topics. So he seems very serious and like some people like he's just very passionate. Some may like say aggressive or whatever, but like
passionate's a good word.
Yeah, I think passionate because that's what it is. It's just passion. And like he's really truly cares. Because like he's embodied the culture here. Everyone now, we focus on one person at a time. So like right now it's just you and me. He's focusing on like a bigger picture. Seems very passionate. However, I think he's an absolute like sweetheart, charmer. Like my favorite thing to do is try to make him blush. And I don't know if he'll watch this, but if he does, like we're boys. Like the first time we connected was over my long hair. And like he like spent like 10 minutes like looking through old photos to show me. But I like to try to make him blush because like he does seem like he has such a tough persona and like he's gone through turmoil and like working more than anyone anyone I've ever met. And like that shows you the delayed gratification of, you know, from being in grinding when he was 17 in 1999 to like where first Phorm is now. Yeah. Just truly advocate, but he's much, I don't want to say softer because that will get me in trouble. He's much less hard in real person. And it's truly just like another bro.
Yeah. I know a lot of people like that. I feel like I met somebody Who's the guy that runs Flag Nor Fail? Rob Bailey. Do you know him?
Yeah.
I met him up in Montana
Really?
a couple months ago. And like,
I love his music, dude.
I mean, it's like, ooh, like super macho, like hardo guy.
Yeah.
And in person, he's just like, what's up, man? Like, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But
and like, I love Robin Bailey Hustle Radio, bro. Like, let's fucking go.
And I think that's the way it should be. Like, I feel like, I have a feeling maybe that's how Goggins might be. I don't know anybody that's actually like, met him in person that I can think of, but I feel like that's probably how a lot of those guys are, because they're real people. Like they can't be like, oh, like all the time.
Yeah.
Because then it's just like annoying, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe Goggins is. I don't know.
I've met a couple of people where I'm just like, dude, you like just don't turn off. Like,
yeah.
Like,
I don't know if I could do that.
I'm very 80-20. I go hard as shit for like 80% of the day. Yeah. 20% of the day, bro. You're catching me like after 8 p.m. I'm on the couch, like feet up. That's a big thing I think for recovery too. Like when I'm done, I'm done. I'm not trying to like, I say no to a lot of like social activities because it's not going to benefit me in any way. But to answer your question, Sal, absolute fucking charmer, too handsome of a man. And then Andy is definitely like not as tough, not as hard in real life. Okay. Yeah, love both of those
I think
guys.
I listened to his podcast when it was called the
MFCEO project. Yeah. That's definitely one of his more like business professional development. Yeah. And then now does Q&A, which kind of covers that that category. But he's more or less focusing on like big picture, like things going on in the world.
Didn't he do a rebrand for like a short period of time where it was like Real AF?
Now it's Real AF.
Oh, that's what it's called. Okay.
Yeah. So he switched. Okay. Oh, I don't want to get the year wrong, but yeah, I think
it's probably like around like 2020.
Yep. Yeah. I think it was 2021.
And he doesn't do Instagram. He only does stories, right?
Yeah.
So fascinating.
Yeah. I mean,
he got rid of like everything minus like a picture of a car or something.
He loves cars. He's a huge car guy. Huge car guy.
Yeah, I've heard him talk about that a lot.
Like drives a different one to work every day.
Really?
Like but
that's cool.
Yeah, takes good care of him. I've never been in his garage. Please, Andy, bring me into the garage one time, please.
I'm sure you're the same way. Like, not materialistic at all, but there's something about cars that I'm like, I think it's okay to be materialistic about cars for some reason.
Yeah.
Because there's so much character.
Yeah. And that's big for him. Like he loves like the design, the architecture, the sound, the engine, like every little like thing. Like Andy and Sal's eyes are just so vigilant to like the finite detail that's what he admires the most. It's like one thing he's really hot on right now is like back in like the 1800s, the century of like how architecture and like if we to go see old Smithsonian's and like the beautiful design of those. Yeah. And like the most recent one that's just sticking on my head is like gutter pipes, like used to be like structured, like sculpted columns. Whoa. And then now we have, just a little very thin aluminum foil.
These days.
Yeah. Come on. What are we doing?
Let's get back to better gutters.
Yeah. Better gutters, please. Care about the little things. And I was just like cheap fiberglass. But imagine if you had like a very nice, like, oh, I'm going to take care of this. Like my gutter's not going to look like shit because I have a sculpted.
Oh, shit. Will you help? Dumbass. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. But cool, just imagine if everything was a little bit nicer, you put more care behind it.
Yeah. Appreciating like the art that goes in everything. Dude, even like our neighborhood, I hate our neighborhood.
Really?
Every house.
It's cookie cutter houses.
Looks exactly the same. It's made out of like freaking cardboard probably. Like it's just, I don't know. They just don't make things the way they used to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. Dude, this has been fun.
Yeah, this has been a blast.
Is there anything we didn't cover?
I think I have a big question for you. Like, what you said, Matt Troy was a little bit of this reason that you started to like put yourself out there more and believe in you. What was that shift? Like, what did you do before? And then what was the shift of like, okay, I want to start making content and like, this is why.
That's a good question.
For you.
I did freelance photo and video I started doing it when I was like 15 in high school. I got one of the first GoPros and just started making dumb videos with my friends. Always loved the aspect of like shooting, creating, and editing on all that stuff, but it never had any like substance to it. And then, and I could never envision a way to make money with it either. Yeah. That was a big thing. And then, so I went to college for political science, and then the goal was to go to law school. Yeah. Just because my parents thought that'd be a good idea, because I didn't really know what else I wanted to do. And then in college, when Bree and I lived in Hawaii, we started making YouTube videos, just to document our journey and like living in Hawaii because it was so sick. And then
no following at this point.
No, I think I had like less than 1,000 YouTube subscribers, like 300 or something.
Okay.
We made videos every week. They're terrible, but it was
Really?
like fun to
They
like.
still on the page?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
They're terrible. They're
That's
so
good.
bad. They're
No,
so bad.
don't. You're always your worst critic.
Yeah, I mean,
That's good.
even now,
As you should
I
be,
know they're
but-
terrible. But it was fun. Like it was part of the process.
Yeah.
So we made YouTube videos every week, got better at it, and then had some friends and family in Wyoming when we went back of like, hey, will you shoot my wedding or shoot my like business commercial, whatever. So started doing that kind of on the side. And I was like, man, I think I could maybe make some money with this. And I didn't give a shit about law school or political science. It was so boring. And so then I started actually like making money with video, doing weddings, all that stuff. And then I was a big fan of BPN in like 2019, 2020 when I got into fitness and all that. And then saw them in Leadville when Nick did Leadville and just introduced myself.
You're there.
Yeah, I was shooting like this passion project for a friend. It's on my YouTube channel. It's my biggest video. It's called Chasing 400. And it's my friend from Wyoming who ran the Grand Slam of Ultras, or Grand Slam of Hundreds.
Yeah.
So it's 400-mile races. So I went and documented all those just because I thought it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Happened to be at Leadville when they were there, introduced myself. Didn't like seem like a freak or like a super fan or anything. I was just like, what's up, dude? Love your stuff. Connected with one of their videographers. And then like 3 months later, they hit me up on Instagram. We're like, hey, do you want to come like work for us? Maybe we're hiring for a videographer. And I was like, sure, let's do it. So I moved out to Austin in 2022.
Okay.
And then worked for Nick for like 6 months. And just doing all of his YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. And then realized that I could just do it for myself. Like I was literally running all of his stuff minus like being the subject.
Yeah.
Like he was the subject, obviously. But I was like, if I just make myself the subject, I could do this. Like,
Yeah.
Because I was creating everything for him. And so I started making videos like every day on Instagram. I was just like, because that seemed to be the formula that would work. Just post every single day. So that was August of 2022. So like a little over 2 years ago.
Okay.
And then
Is that when you started gaining traction? Was
Yeah.
after BPN?
yeah, so it was when I was at BPN, I started posting every day.
Yeah.
Nick basically gave me this ultimatum of like, you have to stop posting. You're on your own stuff or you're going to leave. And I was like, well, I'm not going to stop posting my own stuff. So I just, we came to this mutual agreement of like, okay, I can't commit my life to your business because I have my own things I want to do. And this seems like something I could figure out on my own. So I basically left ultimately. And then from that day, I didn't really have like any real plans or anything. I had like 2,000 followers on Instagram, still like maybe 1,000 to 2,000 followers on YouTube, and then just went hard. I was like, okay, I'm going to be a content creator. I'm going to figure this out. Started posting every day. I think within a month, I went
How did you come up with, most people listening to this, I don't know how to come up with a day of content. What are some things, like what are some tips you give people?
So I was training for like a half marathon at the time. I had done like a couple of races, like a couple of marathons. And I felt like I had all these ideas for Nick's content that he didn't want to do that I thought would perform well. Cause I saw this like big gap in the running space specifically. There's nobody providing information and like good tips and like good high quality content for running. And so I was trying to get him to like do more educational like tips and stuff. And he's his own person, his own brand, wants it to be whatever. So he just would like do whatever he wanted to do, which is fine.
He does education now.
Yeah. And so I was like, there's such a gap for this stuff. So I started making it on my own channel of like, here's 3 tips for runners. Like, here's how to buy your running shoes. Or here's how to eat for running.
You still do that. You still do that.
Simple shit like that.
Yeah.
And it took off. So I went from like 2,000 to 10,000 followers in like a couple of weeks. And then went from like 10,000 to 100,000 after like 6 months. So it just like, it really quickly blew up.
Yeah.
And I think it was partially the timing of it. It was like before there was 1 million running influencers 2 years ago. So yeah, that's kind of the journey, I guess. And then basically from that day that I quit, it was just go full on content. Everything's been invested into content.
Dang.
Yeah.
You love it?
I love it. Yeah.
Do you?
It never feels like work. I mean, dude, this year's been crazy. I've traveled so much. Like
You've been on the road.
I mean, I feel so lucky, that like this is just what I do now, which is so sick. I mean, getting to podcast, things like this, went to the Olympics, met Usain Bolt, like there's all these crazy things that I would never even dream of doing.
Yeah.
Just because
being a small kid from Wyoming.
Exactly, dude. I think it all, just like you, like committing or like investing in yourself, taking a chance on yourself, things that maybe didn't seem possible or people in your hometown weren't doing, but you like believed in yourself enough to like take a chance and like go move to Texas, go move to, or like go work for First Phorm, be in the warehouse, like go get humbled a little bit.
Yeah, pack some boxes
and just figure it out. Yeah. I think investing in yourself is the number one thing anybody can ever do. Yeah. Like, doesn't matter what your parents say, what your friends say. Like my parents wanted me to go to law school. I said, fuck that. My mom still, I love my mom, but she does not understand the concept of entrepreneurship, like working for yourself. She's like, I don't get how you make money. And
just show your bank account.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, cause that's the generation of like, you got to go be a 9-to-5er, like go work for somebody, do whatever. But, yeah, invest in yourself. That's the moral of the story.
That's the one thing you would tell everyone, invest in yourself.
Yeah, like whether it's from a monetary standpoint or a time standpoint or like moving across the country, whatever it is, like you got to believe in yourself. Running has done that so much for me of like the self-confidence too.
Yeah.
It's just, I think without running, if I didn't find running, I probably wouldn't have done all that because I didn't have the confidence. Yeah. So that's a big element of it. I have a question for you. Would you ever, obviously like you love First Phorm. I imagine you love working there. Do you have any ambitions to like make your own thing or like go make like Mason Stevens Incorporated or anything?
Yes and no. Product wise, no. Like I don't want to make products or anything like that. What I would want to make would just be like, if anything, some apparel, because I'm huge on just like mental mindset. And like my biggest advocate like as a person is like, I would love to be a keynote speaker someday about how to reinstill self-confidence, love in yourself through fitness, education, and nutrition. So that would be like my biggest thing. Program wise, like I love coaching people who want to be coached. I don't have a coaching program. I don't coach people. Like First Phorm coaches people. They don't have like a super high intensive like running or HYROX one. If anything, like I just like I love small group training too. Like whenever I get to like lead a class or like lead a group, like I'm a huge people person. So like, yeah, someday I possibly would like to like start making like some running programs or like some HYROX programs, and just be able to like have that opportunity to like work with individual athletes to like see how good I could get them. Yeah. I mean, but outside that, like, no, I'm not trying to like make new energy drinks or supplements or like anything like that. Like I like some nice shirts. I think that would be cool to like make that I could have like some of my like quotes or like mantras on them. Biggest one for me is Steel Cage, and just like my mental mantra that I started when I trained for my first Ultramarathon. And it's like just complete utter belief in myself, no matter what comes up or what's going on, any external voices, self-doubt, like doesn't matter. When I say Steel Cage, like I know I'm locked in. Like I have absolute belief in myself that I am the fastest or the best person in the room.
I know some good shirt designers if you're looking for one.
If they look anything like yours, then absolutely.
Dude, apparel, it's pretty easy, like especially with print on demand. Yeah. Do you know print on demand? That's what I do. It's like you don't have to buy any inventory. You don't have to like put upfront capital. You literally, it's smaller margins, so you make less money. But I don't really do.
That's not what it's for. Yeah. It's for the community side.
Exactly.
Of it. Yeah.
So it's just like you have like build a website, a storefront of some kind, and then people put an order in. The fulfillment print on demand place will just pull a shirt off a shelf, print it, ship it to them. So it's like you don't have to have like a box of 100 shirts at your house.
Who makes your designs?
I have two friends. This one was Caleb Beck. He also designs for Switchback.
Okay.
And then my other friend, Thomas Bryant. He's like he works like his big agency here in Austin.
I love the Switchback too. You gave me Orange
Dream.
Orange Dream. Yeah, it's delicious.
Thanks, dude.
Much better than Element.
Don't let First Phorm hear you say that.
I could say that. They're different hydration sticks.
Okay, fair enough.
Switchback has more sodium. It's more meant for training, where our hydration sticks are going to be great daily use intake. Yeah.
That's good. Thanks for the plug.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've considered making, because it is a lot of sodium, like you probably don't want to be downing like 4 things to Switchback a day. Like that's a lot of sodium. But we've considered like maybe like 500 milligrams or 250 for like an everyday, like a light version, basically, that you can have like whenever you want. But yeah, for me, I felt like I could have a bigger impact on people by doing my own thing. If you feel like you could do that at First Phorm, like that's, I think the ultimate question you got to ask is like, I think that's most people's goal is to like, how do you impact people and how do you have the most reach, I guess? Yeah. So it's like, do you do it through your own channels? Do you do it via First Phorm and like use their community to like, you know, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
because before I moved down here, I was the event director, so I did the like coast to coast travel. And like the impact that I was able to make through that was like every single event, like I'm the protein guy. Like I'm the guy that's hooking every single person up. Like I'm educating them. I'm telling them like why this is good, how it will help. Like, and I love that. Like I get to go to marathons. I get to talk to every single person going through the expo and be like, yo, this is what I take. This is why I take it. And like, this is why I think you should. If not like just any like generic questions, like I'm the expert in the expo field, like at a marathon. There's no other booth that has like a 250 marathoner there that's just like casually there to have conversations with everyone and be able to give any tips. So like it does provide a huge opportunity for me. That's awesome. But yeah, I'm kind of like where you may have been in 2020 to 2022. Like I have a good little following, but it's because I've met all of these people. Like all of my followers are people that like I actually generally know. Like you'll see, like I have a 1-to-1 follow rate because it's like these are the people that I've known from moving my entire life through high school every year, and then college, and then traveling the country for events. Like, but I don't have like I have an impact with my followers. Like I'm great with them because like they're all my friends. Like I generally almost know 80% of them.
Yeah. Dude, follower counts don't even like they matter, but they don't matter. Yeah. It's like I think people think just because they don't have 1 million followers that they don't have an impact on.
Yeah. It's one person. Focus on one. If you can make one person better, dude, like you just changed a life. Like take so much pride in that one person. Like, and if you don't feel like you're impacting anyone, then find one person and then just make an impact for them, and then see how you could do it at a bigger scale and a bigger scale. Right now I'm stuck at a middle scale and I'm like, oh, how do I get to like my voice to be a bigger branch? Like, what do I have to do? Like, obviously I could be more consistent about posting, and like, there's very simple things that I could do. But again, like I love my 9 to 5. It's not a 9 to 5. I love my every day. Like I love first form every day. And then I train every day. Like those are my two biggest things. I'm very passionate about what I do because of the outcome that we have to help other people. And then I'm very passionate about like my fitness and health and wellness space, because if I'm living a nice and healthy life, like I can have a very healthy and like happy relationship with you. I love
that. That's awesome. Yeah. I think you gotta just find what it is that you want to do, whether it's impact people, like own your own business, do whatever, and then just work backwards from there and figure out like what position can I put myself in to achieve those things that I want to do.
I know I want to public speak, and I know what like my topics are. So then I just got to start working back and seeing if I could.
That's awesome.
Find avenues for that. Yeah,
dude, it's been fun.
It's been a blast
for almost 2.5 hours.
I know, dude. I could talk to you for another. I know, we'll get to talk more. We have some things. We have loop running tonight. Loop and switchback tonight.
HYROX workout.
Yep, HYROX workout.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
You're gonna absolutely murder me. I know. I'm gonna be it's gonna be fun. Yeah, I'm excited.
We can't go like too hard. I mean, we're gonna go hard, but I got Chicago this weekend.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, we're definitely gonna. It'll be like my last hard workout for sure.
I'm excited for it. It'll be fun. Chicago this Sunday. Goal sub 250 for you.
Yeah,
dude,
break that barrier.
Let's go. Steel cage, baby.
Steel motherfucking cage, baby.
This has been fun, dude. This is what happens when you get two golden retrievers together. Yeah. Dude, thanks for coming on. HYROX. I think it's gonna blow up. I think it already has, but hopefully this inspires some more people because it's so much fun and just healthy.
Yeah.
Good fitness.
Good functional fitness.
Yes. Anything else we need to talk about? No. Beautiful.
If you want to find anything more about me, like my Instagram is Mason_James209. That's my main platform.
I'll put like links and stuff in the description if people want to follow you. Just Instagram. That's the only place.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not active on like TikTok or.
Okay.
I have a YouTube. I probably should use, but the videos on it are really funny and just like old like random ones.
I might have to find that.
Yeah, they're pretty funny. There's like 5 videos on there. But you can kind of get like where I started at and be like, if I would have stuck with it, there definitely would have been something there.
That's sick. I love it, dude. Well, thanks for coming on, and good luck in Chicago. And I can't wait to get rocked in this HYROX workout.
Dude, thank you so much. Absolute pleasure. Let's go get it, baby.
Let's go. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a review, and share it with a friend. We'll see you in the next one.